Yeah. Yeah.
What do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
We're pulling live on the upside of America. Nigga, we hope. Mama let me sit the 40. I was just a driving like an MP going to bed. We hope. My friends are dead. Nigga, we hope. Pull live on the upside of America. Pull live on the upside. Same corner where my brothers died. Living like we ain't got killed.
You going in and out, buddy.
Yeah, I couldn't hear your intro to get ready.
Let's go.
But
I got you.
Nigga, we hope.
Krack.
That he dead. Nigga, we hope.
I really appreciated the theatrics. I really appreciated the theatrics, bro.
Y'all know what it is, man. We got his drop.
You got your drop.
Oh, he ain't getting his games. Oh, I got mine. I forgot it. Oh, you ain't remind me.
You smoke crack, don't you?
I was waiting on it, bro.
You gotta remind me.
All right. My bad, man.
You gotta remind me, man. It slaps Mr. Cooler Mom in the building, man. Oh, man. I forgot it. This is terrible. This is a terrible intro, man. Mr. Cooler Mom in the building, bro. The forecast. Y'all know what it is, man. Got a lot of important shit to talk about tonight, man. Yeah.
Back.
Bring us in.
It's your favorite Uncle Spooty, a.k.a. the neighborhood supporter. The forecast, man. We got a special guest with us.
Real trap shit.
Go ahead and introduce yourself,
Detroit
yes.
Detroit Red, Politicken.
Oh,
Just join the conversation.
I like that. I like that new Meek song.
Yeah,
it's a
pretty
good
tight.
Record. That's a good record. Good record.
I like Ice Wares too. Ice Wares
I
pretty
never
hard.
heard that, bro.
I didn't hear it. You never heard Meek joint? It just came out like 2 days ago, bro.
That's fire.
It's very fire.
Yeah, it just came out 2 days ago. It's a it's a really good song, bro. Like I rock with it.
Asking for new content for me, man. Shout out to me.
You here, nigga? We hungry.
What's the deal, man?
I'm at work. Daddy dead, nigga. We lonely.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we shouting sponsors out? I heard us. What we doing?
I mean, we Spooty and Spooty first of the day and Wristworks, bro. We know Wristworks been on hiatus because what shit been closed.
Yeah. Shout out to Villains, man.
He ain't did nothing either.
I mean, we ain't broke down what we need from them or no.
He know what we need. I've been asking for some jeans since the jeans was out.
Shit,
There ain't no personal shit. Nah, the jeans. Been asking for jeans.
Shout out my nigga DA, man. He moved to Dallas. Go crazy, bro.
Yeah, facts.
But I mean, Miles been getting hooked up on the low.
I pay. I ain't got shit sponsored, but one shirt.
One shirt? We done definitely got more than one shirt here.
You got for free? From
Yeah. Not from Villains. No, definitely not from Villains. Nah,
I ain't getting
definitely
nothing.
Not. You gotta talk to him about that, bro.
It's fine.
You gotta talk to him about
do,
that,
man. Do what you do.
Nah. Don't. Nah. Let him know what you want, bro. Don't stand down.
That's all good.
Nah, it ain't all good. And I'm here to say it. Get Spooty a shirt, all right? Get Spooty a shirt, man. That's what you need to do. Yeah, get him a shirt. H2E, you got anything important going on right now? Black-owned business, man. Holla at him.
I just want to say thank you to everybody that's still supporting, man. It's not like an astronomical number of sales, but I have still been getting consistent sales and having to go to the post office every day. I'm happy to, you know, I'm happy to get that love, and I'm actually surprised that people are still. Well, I'm not surprised, but I'm just happy about it. I ain't gonna say surprised. I'm happy.
Good for you, black man. Good for you and your black business.
But I do got some new stuff coming. That should be coming very, very soon.
Coming soon. Okay. Can't wait to see, man. Can't wait to see. You know, as people who, as a show that you sponsor, it would be nice to see some of this stuff.
Oh yeah,
before the public sees it.
But,
you know, that's just, you know, I just want to see it before everybody else, so I can be like, yeah, that nigga that had that in the bag for a couple months. Yeah, he'd have had that in the bag for a couple months.
I've been seeing that design.
I had it. I had the fall collection in the summer.
I want to get y'all some neighborhood supporter shirts too, man.
Oh, you doing those?
Yeah, I ain't selling them, but I'm.
That's how you buy it. I would definitely like one of those.
Just trying to spread the message.
Yeah, I definitely
supporting the neighborhood. I think. So basically, it's about. I mean, if you know me, you see me at sipping shops. I usually support a lot of black-owned businesses. I know a lot of y'all do as well. We do a lot of stuff that be undercover, and we really don't showcase it. So this is my platform of amplifying that. And when I do things, it'll be under that title of being a neighborhood supporter. I got a whole bunch of stuff I'm trying to do. That's actually dope. It's fun. So I think everybody's a neighborhood supporter. You know what I mean? Not everybody. Some of y'all. Not everybody, but I'm pretty sure everybody on this podcast in some aspect or form. It could be. I know when the snow comes down, I shovel my neighbor's grass. I mean, snow. Just
better man than me, buddy. Fuck these people.
Well, maybe it can be. Yeah, it can be something you do later. I mean, if it's you really don't have. Do you have an older person next to you?
No, facts.
I got like an elder person, like the lady.
Wouldn't care if I did. What type of relationship do you got with me, buddy?
They old and white and don't care about me, so I don't care about them.
Never mind. But if you were in the right neighborhood and you had a neighbor that you're willing to look out for, I think you would do the same thing.
Nigga next door don't even talk to me.
That is true. That is true.
Little stuff.
I said hi to the nigga next to me. He ain't even say nothing.
Sound like you're in the wrong neighborhood.
Won't ever talk to him again.
Hey, I moved into my neighborhood and nobody came to greet me. Nobody came to greet me.
The guy that I do it for, which kind of discouraged me, I would do it for free and not even say nothing to him. But I seen him pay somebody down the street to do it one day, and I was just like,
why the hell I'm gonna pay you if you're just doing it for free out your own free will?
Not even that, but like,
do we say thank you?
That ain't how America works.
He has. Not for real. Not for real. Like, not for real. I still do it though, but he hasn't really like.
We do it just for the point though. For the purpose.
So
that's what's up, man. Because hey, if I was you, I wouldn't do his grass or shovel whatever the fuck else ever. Like, nigga, you don't need to say thank you. I'm straight. You're not getting nothing done.
All right. Fuck. Yeah, I feel it.
No, you good. You good. That don't mean that's right. I'm just saying I know how I'd be. I'd be like, man, get the fuck on, man.
If they would have said, if they would have said hello when I moved in, then I might have thought about it. Nobody said hello when I moved in.
Where you stay at?
Garden City.
Okay, never mind. Move on.
Garden City. Garden City ass nigga.
What was your fucking expectations of that moving there?
It was a nice remodel house, bro.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
do you understand what the fuck I'm talking about? I'm talking about being a black man moving into a nice neighborhood and niggas feeling like because I'm black, they're not going to say anything. We're going to start off talking about race. So I figured that was a good way to introduce a topic about race. Why niggas is what are we doing, baby?
Let's build up. Let's build up. Let's get to it.
What Slap say? You're podding. Now you're podding.
Get to it.
You're podding.
Hey man, shouts to all the listeners, man. Everybody on Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, whatever the fuck you want to call it. YouTube, everybody who's watching us, everybody who's on the live right now, which is just Ron. Shout outs to Big Neff. Hopefully everybody else begins to fill in. Send a link out, tell people to come in. We're gonna be talking about some very serious and very open discussion topics today.
Sending these links out now.
Shout out to y'all. You can find us on every platform. Google Podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, everything. We're there. And while we are there, in order to bring you better audio, better visuals, donations are appreciated, especially for the Black creator. $, the forecast. That's the number 4 cast. Or you can subscribe to our Anchor for 99 cents a month, $4.99 a month, or $9.99 a month. Any one of those would be greatly appreciated moving forward. And that's it, man. Let's get right down to it. All right. It has been a crazy week. So under the circumstances of what's been going on, we can start off with how everybody is feeling today under the circumstances, which we know are the protests, the outcry for George Floyd, and just for Black oppression, Black injustice, and just Black people not being included in what is America today. So I'm gonna just ask y'all how y'all feeling. I'll be quick with mine. A lot of different emotions: anger, sadness, frustration, and also a sense of empowerment with the way that we're moving about it, which we'll get into further detail about. But everybody, Kenya, you the guest. We'll start with you first, and everybody else can kind of pick up after that on how they feeling about this.
I know James Baldwin talks about how to be conscious and Black in America is to be always in constant rage. And so I feel like I've been feeling like I've been feeling. I think for a lot of people who are learning, who are being educated right now, or these things are bringing to light inequalities and disparities within our systems, not only just in policing. Because at the same time, we still have a global pandemic going on. You still have an economic crisis going on. And so when you have all of these layers of things, I mean, for a lot of people, they're learning about it. And so I feel like it's a lot of confusion and rage and just wanting for change. But I feel like the type of person that I am, this is my life's work. Fighting for equity and trying to be a change agent within our communities, because these things they're not new. And I was just watching a video a couple of days ago. It's from 1971. And you have people in positions of leadership, both Black and white. So you got police and you got different organizational leaders. And they're talking, it's a news broadcast, and it's highlighting major Black cities. And they're literally talking about what we're talking about right now, CNN and MSNBC and Fox, you know what I'm saying? And so when you understand the systemic issues that we're dealing with, when you understand history, you know that this isn't new. And so if you're just now becoming frustrated, that's the first issue at hand. And I encourage people who are feeling some type of way to continue to feel in some type of way, and don't stop feeling no type of way when this stuff leaves the media. And so I would just say, I'm encouraged that people are waking up, and I'm encouraged that things are happening, but I don't want it to stop here. I don't want it to stop a conviction or whatever, because that's not the bottom line for me. And I just want other people to just keep at it. Just keep at it.
Hey, Spooty, moving to you. You had said that you can see some change coming and see some light at the end of the tunnel. And when I was on the forecast page, I was asking you a question. And I said on GOK, I didn't want you to think I was being combative about it as much as I wanted you to elaborate. No, I'm dead ass. I wanted you to elaborate on it. Because I agree, but I wanted you to elaborate on it under the page because we did GOK earlier, and I think me and Krack both agreed that like right now is a turning point for America, and I see that you agree too, because just of how this is being talked about. I think people are opening their eyes, like Kenya said. I think people are waking up, and we can't let go of that momentum. So I asked, like,
my bad.
No, you good because you didn't answer.
I know that's what I'm saying. I got I remember you asked. I was pondering on my response, but
you good.
Get back to it.
Because I'm like, we went from being slaves to segregation, from segregation to going to jail, from going to jail to getting beat, from going to beat to getting killed. It's like, all right, it's change. Yeah, as a black man, we in a better position than like the black man in the 60s, but I also have to be on my P's and Q's when I get pulled over by a cop because I might just get shot for no reason today or just choked out for no reason today. You never know. So it's still a danger. Even in my own home, cops might come in, search warrant, blast me. We don't know. These type of things can happen. So yeah, I agree. I think I see some change too, but I wanted you to elaborate on that. I wasn't disagreeing with you.
I knew you weren't disagreeing. I know what you're doing. I know what you was doing, my guy. But so one thing I want to speak to this first. I want to say I feel the perception. Well, not the perception, but racism is real, and a lot of people were dismissing it, but now it's really in your face. Even like the white people are our allies that are coming to support and be there for us. They're experiencing it too in their face. They see when they see some black protesters getting pulled up and they're sitting right there, or they might. It was a clip where a white girl was supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, and they see how people react to them supporting black people. So it's like it's being showcased on a different level, and I feel like it feels real now, even though it's been real. Like every police brutality, all the things, systemic racism, all this type of things, but it's real now. Even all the police brutality I've witnessed, nothing really I've cried before, but this one, I don't know what it was. I think it just, I can't really break down why, but this one was the one that kind of was just like I was on clock at work and I was looking through my Instagram and I've seen the clip before, but I never seen like the totality of the whole clip of like people baby talking, saying check his pulse and all this stuff. And when the stretcher came out, I didn't see all that stuff. I just kind of seen the guy on laying on his neck with the knee, and I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. But when I start like actually being able to hear the sounds, the stretcher, when they had to hold his head and neck to kind of put him on the stretcher, like him being unresponsive, and the dude kind of just deliberately just putting his knee right there, and it broke me down. I couldn't even go to a couple meetings at work after that. I had to dismiss myself from a couple meetings, and I just kind of told him like, the events I'm seeing on the line, I'm not be able to show up professionally right now, and they understood. So I'm pretty sure they knew what I was talking about. But yeah, I feel like this is the only time we have really received that support from our other allies in a major way. But I feel like we need to show. In this time, I think we all need to just move as a unit, and whatever they feeling, we need to support too. I just feel like we just need to keep it going. Like it can't just be a black matter now. If we getting that support from our allies, if it's a white matter, we need to be there too. Like we need to keep it going. So, yeah.
You know what I told a white person, because I ain't been on social media because I ain't been wanting to. This shit been overwhelming, so I ain't been wanting to like argue with people. Mm-hmm. But I have been arguing with a few white people in my community on the Nextdoor app, because somebody had just made a statement like, "Hey, why are we doing this Black Lives Matter thing again?" And when I say this has been like 5 days of black and white people just kind of like going back and forth, white allies as well, but just the community around me just going back and forth about it. a white person has said like he had said something along the lines of, he doesn't want to feel ashamed of being white. He doesn't want to apologize for something that he didn't do. And, I'm just trying to tell him I'm not looking for an apology from you. I'm not looking for any. I'm looking for you to recognize the problem. And I said, don't be upset that we are fighting for what we feel is a problem. If something's going on in the white community that you feel like is the problem, opioids, if you feel like that's a problem, talk about it. Don't get upset at another race for talking about something that they feel is an issue. Something? Go ahead.
Can I cut in?
Pop in. Yes, you can. Pop in.
Because that you bring that opioid shit up.
That's something that they saw as an issue. I didn't think it was a big deal.
I just want to do this because I want to paint kind of like a juxtaposition between the crack era and this opioid shit. All right. I just received like some mail saying that if you have been affected by the opioid crisis, you could be getting some money. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have somebody that was affected by work or died from it. And that, I think that is like a shining example of like where we are as people right now. We had a whole, the 80s was full of crack, full of parents who couldn't take care of their children anymore. Like it fucked our community up in ways that we still feel like today. That type of care was not shown to our people in that time. And it that shit hurt, bro. Like when you talk about, like, I think, and I keep talking about this, like when I had conversations with just like I'll have like personal conversations or I'll talk about it on the podcast, but it's this this way that we've normalized our living that I think we're like fine with how things are because this is like all we've known. But when we examine like how we have to live from day to day, like that shit is like it's really tough. Like when you step outside of, like, we can't step outside of our skin, but looking at just like how if we were white, a lot of things go out the window that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And it's shoved in your face every day. But I think we've gotten used to just like, yo, this is how we living right now. This isn't different for us. And
survival.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And we feel like we built for it. So, you know what I'm saying? We take pride in being able to like get it out the mud, bro. Like that's our shit. Like that's our shit. You know, we take pride in being able to like make something out of nothing. So I don't know, like
that's crazy why, like, about that opioids thing. That I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
Bro. Like I just got that in the mail.
I need to peep that.
Just got
that's
it
crazy,
in the mail.
Because if they send something like, if the crack era affected you, I need some. I need.
Fam, like
I need it.
Yeah. And
need some cheese.
But would they even do that though? Would they even do that?
Never. I doubt it.
That's what I'm saying. That should be alarming to people. And I would hope, like, that's why I am happy that we have like white allies like right now. It seems like it, because we can't do it by ourselves, bro. We just can't. We need that help. We need that help. Like being in America as a minority, having so much stripped from us, like whether it's just physical manual labor or that runs us into the ground, you know what I'm saying, that basically kills us, or just having like more creative things that that we come up with and things that we come from or ideas and concepts that comes from our culture are stripped away from us. Our creativity is stripped away from us. It's like really fucked up. Like if we were to sit down and like really just like focus on like how we're fucked over like on a day-to-day basis, and how like a lot of today's circumstances mirror like circumstances decades ago, and how our ancestors and our grandparents, our great grandparents, like they fought to give us something better, and we have gotten better incrementally. Though it's like I sometimes I feel like our ancestors would be disappointed with like how much white supremacy has just continued and kept us down, because
we don't do as much as them. And I said that to my students the other day, that we don't do as much as them. Like, we're talking about a period of time where 5 little black girls was killed in a church that got bombed. You know what I'm saying? We bombing churches, like things like that.
I don't,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't necessarily think. All right,
these niggas walk 5 miles to work for a year. Can niggas do that right now?
I'm saying we can't. Okay, this is almost like the NBA conversation. Like, you can't compare. Like, we can't help the era that we came up in. We can only do the best that we can do in our era. Certain things weren't afforded to that generation because we've moved forward, like in technology and shit like that. But I feel like our generation is doing a lot. Like, there is not a coincidence between our generation kind of leading this shit going on right now, and that spanning to other countries in a way that they never seen. You know what I'm saying? That's things that they couldn't do. And that's not saying that they were not afforded that because they're not in our era. But I feel like the way that we're mobilizing right now is should be commended. Like,
facts. I wasn't saying that at all.
No,
I wasn't saying that at all.
I think like when you compare our era, I think we doing.
I'm just saying I ain't out here getting bit by German shepherds and hit with fire hoses.
I get that. I understand that.
I don't know how well I do out there. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't know.
But yeah, I'm saying like, but the dog. Okay, we still getting killed though. You know what I'm saying? Like, beyond anything. Slaps disappeared. I don't want to.
Hey, one thing I want to, because me and Miles was having a side conversation, another day or so ago, and basically kind of what you were saying is like, even when we're growing up, and if we become successful, we have a burden of a whole community on our backs. I don't think most whites don't really have that burden. Like, we're responsible for making the change when the change is most likely given to them, like the opioids thing. We don't have that opportunity where organizations, until kind of now I see stuff popping up, people giving funding here and there and yada yada, but we normally don't have those type of things to where me or you are responsible for teaching people how to get a business, and we're not fully educated on it. We're responsible for teaching these things in our community when we're not even the best at it, when they have opportunities that's kind of placed there. And I think we kind of just normalize, this is what we're doing, this is how we got to do it. But it's not just because we normalize it doesn't mean it is right. And that's what I was trying to say the other day to my fellow podcast member Miles here.
No, I mean,
me and Spooty was disagreeing.
Yes, a fact. Stop.
I mean, we not, and that's why I feel like a lot of people don't understand that it's cool to disagree too. Because again, like, we all know the narrative of being damaged growing up in this neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, Krack, I take hella pride in this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I have to grind, I have to work, I have to do all these great things just to make sure that we good. I take pride in that. You know what I'm saying? And I just made it before all this happened. I made a post saying, like, how I'm damaged, as a man and as a person. And at times I feel like it's too late to fix, and my goal is to make sure that our youth don't grow up that way. You know what I'm saying? Or just get them an outlet. So everything, I mean, I feel the same way that everybody feel. Like Kenya said, me and Kid, like we didn't work a long time. You know what I'm saying? We've been pushing for these things a long time. And again, I just hope that people keep it moving. Every time you see me with a shirt on, it's somebody Black made it. You feel me? Like my main goal is continue to support Black business. Like Spooty said, we've been supporting this damn near going on 10 years now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just like, I done seen people push it, and then as soon as it kind of die down, everybody disappear, and it's the same ones that's still moving and still working, but everybody has to be consistent and continue to go. We have a lot of Black-owned banks. We have a lot of Black-owned grocery stores. We have a lot of Black-owned businesses here, but we do not go to them or support them because we don't even trust each other.
And where that come from? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a lot of this shit, like it all go back to just white supremacy, bigotry, and like the world we're taught to be in. You know what I'm saying? Like we're given like another set of rules that white people frankly just aren't. Just period.
And the thing about that is it's not only here. Like people look at this systemic racism or inequality in culture. It's the same thing when you go to other countries. You know what I'm saying? I can give a perfect example about South Africa. South Africa is majority Black. Yep. The experience that a Black person in Soweto who wants to, you know what I'm saying, grow themselves, go to university, you know what I'm saying, start to integrate, get into these systems. It wasn't until the 2000s that education system, higher ed, started to see more Blacks. You get like, it's like we think that this is just colonization is so important in these dialogues, and it is a systemic situation. To your point, Cracker Brown, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're literally dealing with two of the same kind of things that happen. We just call them different things.
Yeah.
And one population is able to get assistance, and another population was completely damaged and destroyed and continues to deal with those damages, and we still can't get a leg up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at what point, and I hear y'all with the allyship and all of that, you know, I try to take on and off my radical hat as I please. But, you know, I'm beyond allyship. I said in a meeting recently with a higher up, I'm not gonna put them out there, but they said we need more leaders.
All right, I'm back, dog.
A lot of these people are in places and spaces where they don't need us to tell them what to do. You know what the problem is.
That's a fact.
So I shouldn't have to tell you, you know, they describe ally being someone that it's like you got to bring them into the picture and tell them what to do. No, you step up and do it.
Yeah, hey, white silence. Hey, white silence is killing us just as much.
Feel like I missed a great segment.
You did. It's all
fucking.
Good, we held it down
because her mother can't control the children.
I just had to change. I had my son was taking off his diaper himself, and he had a horrible experience in there, man.
Like,
had to get that
how
together.
did an 8-month-old unplug the routers?
Yo. But no,
we back.
Yeah, I feel like mobilization among our society is extremely. We have to make sure we tight like this. Like we got to make sure we in the fist. Because even with that, with these white allies and whatnot, if we ain't got it right at home at the crib, like it's not gonna go how we need it to go. Like,
Miles, did you touch on what we was talking about off cam?
A little bit, but me and like Spooty kind of brought it up. You talk about me and Spooty?
No, when you was just saying like how we don't need, you know what I'm saying, need like.
I can get into it because like,
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to quote you. You can go ahead. I don't want to quote it.
I feel like at the moment, Spooty kind of changed. I get us needing, you know, the whites for certain things, but I really do feel like we can build our own community and build it to the point where we're not dependent on them.
Sure, we know that's the goal.
Yeah, and I understood what you were saying off cam about that, because I'm like, we do have the resources to do so. Obviously, with the black billionaires we have, with
We got
we got a lot. We should be able to mobilize ourselves with money. We have enough money to do what it is that we need to do, but without them doing it, we need white people. You know what I'm saying?
And we need some get back, bro. Like at the end of the day, like for everything that's been stripped of us,
we built this shit,
they
bro.
I mean, I heard this. This woman gave the most impassioned speech. I wish I knew who she was, but she was like, listen, like y'all done ripped so much from us, bro.
No, she be
like y'all lucky that we not going out for revenge. We just want something of our own so we can continue to build. But like we way behind, like they owe us, period. So like I feel like
to God, they do.
a lot of that shit, like as far as gaining allies, and so these motherfuckers turn around and say like, yo, listen, we owe them, give them what the fuck they need. We gonna be fine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the people that I know are of like, we getting it, like we're going to get it. Fuck whatever they doing, like, because even prior to any of this, we all believe in the businesses that we support. That's before anybody was protesting. That's before any of this shit. So I feel like right now the importance in getting those allies is so things open up a little bit and make it easier. Like I'm not even thinking about me. I'm thinking about, my kids. Like we all got kids and shit. Like if things are easier, so we have to, maybe we got to dig a little bit deeper. We got to do a little bit more. Like if our kids ain't got to do that shit and they have, and we can build that generational wealth, bro. Like that's all we all want, bro.
Let's see. I got
get that from them.
Let's see. I got somebody.
Oh, period. Oh, I know that.
With them.
Real quick, I got somebody in
there.
I got somebody in the comments. The Needless to Say show. Shout outs to y'all for
that's
tuning
my guy,
in.
Jay. What's the deal?
Okay, shout outs to Jay, man. He said at times like this, if we don't stick together, then we are done for. I wholeheartedly agree. He said ain't no allies but us, to be honest. I won't fully agree with that, but I understand your opinion
get the mindset,
on that. Yeah, I get the mindset for sure. Whereas let me draw the attention here. I haven't gotten to the point, right, where I understand. I haven't gotten to the point where I've wanted to tear this bitch up, but I understand the people who want to tear shit the fuck up. I'm not talking to you people who are using and abusing George Floyd's death to loot and riot for your own benefit, but I mean niggas who are just angry to the point where they want to see shit burn.
And that's a difference.
Because there's people out there like that. It's a big difference. I'm separating the two. You heard it here. I'm separating the two. It's people that want to see shit burn. I feel like if I seen my motherfucking son die in the streets and like by a white cop, wherever the fuck that nigga from, I want to see that whole bitch burn down unless nigga standing with me. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. But for the people who out there like, just using this shit as a time to, what I'm saying, get some shit for their household or get some shit to sell after this is all over. But it's people who are angry to the point where they want to see shit burn. And I get that. While I'm not to that point where I want to go and burn shit up, that ain't me. But I know that I could be triggered to get there. Anybody on this podcast right here, right now, if something happened to y'all by a white man, or like, let's say any of y'all niggas is in like Southfield and like y'all get killed by a white cop, and niggas in Southfield ain't standing behind me, I'm gonna want to burn their community down and make all them niggas suffer for not caring. And that's where I will be at. So I understand it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm a peaceful protest type of nigga up until the next shit is needed. And needless to say, so Jay is his name. He said, at this point we gotta take it. A peaceful approach ain't the move. And I'm not mad at him for feeling that way. Mm-hmm. I ain't upset at niggas for feeling that way. But you niggas who are looting and doing the most for your benefit, fuck y'all. But for niggas who just want to see shit burn down because of how they feel, because of the anger, I don't want it to tear shit up before. You know, they got motherfucking what they call them, like little anger rooms and shit like that around the world for a reason. Like, you know, you go $30 an hour so that you could break shit. I get it.
Yeah, but those are privileged spaces.
But to burn the community, yeah, I agree. But to burn the community, but to burn your community around you and burn the black businesses, I don't understand.
So
but if you want to burn and fuck up the cities that oppressed you, I can't be mad at you for your emotion. Because I'd have acted out on emotion 1,000 times.
Though.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to look at both perspectives, though. So let's just be clear that in history, there's never been transformation without some kind of bloodshed, violence, war.
Yeah, unruly shit, right?
Real transformation unless you see violence in some aspect or form. The issue is that we have to understand the intent behind what are people doing these things for. When you see people, you know, breaking and demolishing and hitting over Confederate ideals and statues that represent a period, those are strategic moves because they're trying to make a point, right? And that's not just happening here. That's happening across the world.
UK just tore a nigga down earlier.
Something crazy.
And when you have people that are essentially what you call looting, I call it's a rage, right? There are some people who feel some type of way and they're uneducated, or they may be ignorant to their history, and they don't know any other way to express what they feel. And I feel like y'all just had a conversation around the simple fact that, you know, oh, y'all owe us, pay up. For some people, that's their way of getting it. And I think that, you know, we shun some groups for how they express their rage, express their anger. Again, you cannot control unrest. And when you're in a time where people are fed up, when people are in poverty, when people don't have access, when people feel like they're overlooked, that's when those things tend to happen. And I mean, quite frankly, even though I did see some photos of some folks coming out of Nike, I'm like, this is the happiest riot I've ever seen. But essentially, some of those folks feel like that's their way of getting back what they want. You know what I'm saying? But again, those are those underlying, I feel like, conditions that we have that play into some of these larger aspects when we think about white supremacy and capitalism, right? So we're angry, but yet we're looting or we're going in and damaging so that we can promote the same brands that essentially, you know, don't support us or our communities. So I think that we take a look in the mirror, and we have to really start with ourselves. And I do agree with the comments that are being made by the gentleman that y'all were just talking about. But we have to start with us, because what is it that we really mad about, and what is it that we really are fighting for? Because then you can begin to put strategy and understanding to all the madness. But the madness has to happen because we have to release all of this stuff that's built up. It's just going to come out differently.
Got to release that anger, right.
That's not like think about the police during these protests. So say for instance, you getting, because sometimes these police are bullies during these protests. To me, most of the cases, like
I agree.
I for sure think they antagonize. Yeah, for sure.
I'll talk about the protests I went to yesterday after you comment.
I for sure think they entice people to want to do things at these protests and lash out. So say for instance, you're getting tear gas and all this stuff. You're mad. You don't want to go over there and punch a police officer and probably get shot. So I'm about to, you know what I mean? If I'm getting bullied at school and I feel a certain type of way, I might go home and punch a wall in. I might go and, you know, do some things like that. So I think people be frustrated at these protests and they just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna just throw a brick through here because it's the only thing I really feel like I can do and get away with right now. So it might start, like, I might not even have the intention to do anything damaging here, and even though I'm enraged to do so, it could have been the police during these protests that kind of like just make you feel like I'm mad as hell. I want to sock the shit out of him. I want to shoot one of these motherfuckers. But
it's that same from Boys in the Hood.
I'm gonna just throw this brick through this window, and it just causes a domino effect because everybody else is frustrated around them. But
when you come with the aggressive approach, all right. So protest yesterday, that we went to out here in Hall Road, and like when Miles talked to me and we was playing in the protest, first thing I said to Miles was I ain't want to march in a black community. All right, I want to march in a white one. He agreed. Yeah, he agreed because he was on the same tip. And, you know, we getting it set up in Dearborn. So yesterday, out here in Clinton Township, Shelby Township, where a motherfucker is on the verge of being fired for his thoughts on George Floyd, the police chief. We shut down a fucking busy ass street with businesses, white business. We shut that bitch down with more than 4,000 people. And come to find out, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been advocating for this march. Come to find out, it was started by 3 young ladies. And, you know, I don't know who the fuck listens to this podcast and don't care, but their names is Mary Vugich, Angel Santana, and Ariana Bellevue.
Santana.
All right.
Let's go.
Chippewa Valley High School. They said it started as a text message, and then they got with the city. They got with the cops, and they was able to get this shit shut down for longer than 2 miles we walked.
That's hard.
That's why you need
all the businesses had to close. It was 2 black young ladies and 1 white young lady. And she said on the stage, she said, I don't know nothing that they've been through, and I don't know nothing that your community been through, but I understand. And that's all we need. And these is kids, and that's all we need to understand. So that was great. Only 1 police department, because it was Clinton Township out there. It was Macomb County Sheriff Department, Shelby Township, Utica, all those people. It was 1 police department that showed up in riot gear. And it's like, for what, nigga? For what? We just here to march and say our shit. Y'all coming here with riot gear on for what reason? Why is the rest of these police department, the majority, showing up in regular clothes? Y'all in Shelby Township. Ain't nobody out here to do that. Niggas don't even cross 8 Mile. Ain't nobody coming out here for that. We coming out here to march. It was more white people out there than black people. This is a majority white community. You know what's up. All right.
And it's crazy because on that video I told y'all about from 71, this is exactly what they was talking about. They were questioning why were police putting so much money into riot gear, pepper spray, and mace.
For what? Y'all ain't never had to use it. Y'all ain't had to use it out here in Shelby.
This is what they're preparing for. This is the fear, the white fear, because of this, how they view you as a black person, right? And so these are like mindsets that are hard to shift, and they've been preparing from the riots that happened previously.
Because I've been arguing with people on that Nextdoor app, like, because they've been talking about like rioting, and I'm like, y'all more worried about rioting that's not gonna happen in Shelby Township than y'all are about the actual reason why we're marching. All right, so nobody's gonna riot out here. I can assure you. We're just out here to get our voices heard. That's it. We're not out here to riot. All right. We are out here to march. We don't want to tear up them. I don't want to tear up the mire that I go to. Where I'm gonna go? I need to shop here.
Though,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to do that. Where does it?
What I'm saying.
They're watching. They're watching the news. They're watching the news.
This is what they've done historically to our communities. And they have this
riot and pillage
belief that black people are going to one day rise up and burn down their communities the same way that they burned down our communities over the years. Yeah. And so this is a white issue.
And let me say,
if you're in an all-white community or a mostly white community, and they have like the riot gear and whatnot, and you already know the white people are not threatened by each other, it's clearly white paranoia of what could come from blacks moving in. So
there goes the neighborhood.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we got to defund them. We got to defund them. Defund them.
Let me say this, bro. So at the end of the protest, which was fucking amazing. Like, I'm glad my nephew had pushed for us to go. So after the protest, of course, it didn't end at the march. You know what I'm saying? There was a young lady out there who started chants. She was starting chants, and you could hear the pain because we was masked up. You could hear the pain. You could see the pain in her eyes. And she started these chants. Hands up, don't shoot. No justice, no peace. Say his name. Say her name. And we was chanting for like an hour longer to the top of our lungs, and we was in that circle. The circle started out like this, and the circle ended up being like this around her. And when I looked at anybody across from me, white, black, gay, heterosexual, ain't matter, I could see the pain and the reason why they was out there, because I couldn't see their mouth, because the people that was in that circle was masked up. That was such a fucking intense connection that I've never felt before, by just looking at the person across from me, staring at them and chanting what they was chanting. Like, we was ready for war. We was ready. Like, nigga, if a nigga wanted to turn up right then and there, I can't say that I wouldn't want it to follow. I sort of got, like, just looking at, bro, it was a white girl that was crying her fucking eyes out across from me. Because she feel that pain. Her friends is black. You know what I'm saying? She understand. Her friends is black. She don't want to see nothing happen to them.
I see, and I think
you know what I'm saying?
that's
And just and that shit was intense, bro. Like, I loved every minute of it. And we was just out there just fucking chanting, bro, and just yelling just so that we could be fucking heard on the other side of Hall Road, bro. Like, that's it. And like, Emil was there, and Emil started kind of like on the outward side of it. And then by the time like we got to the middle, like probably a half hour in, he was right there next to me. Like, nigga, we loud saying what we gotta say through the mask, bro. It was, bro, that shit was amazing. If you haven't been to a rally or a protest, I suggest you try your best to get to one. I know everybody busy. Try your best to get to one, because this shit right here is history. It's intense. It just make you feel a sense of power out there. And to see everybody, like, to see these allies, like, these niggas is allies. It was a white man that came up saying different names. Like, let's say his name next. He know the names. He's sick of the shit too. He know the names. Like, let's say his name next. All right, let's say his name next. Like, my nigga, you know the names better than me. And that shit is amazing. And that shit is amazing to see that you care enough about people, about the other race. Because honestly, if all lives fucking matter, like y'all say, if all lives matter like y'all say, y'all will care about this race that doesn't feel included in that. Y'all will care enough to include them. If you got 3 kids and one of these niggas doesn't feel like they getting enough attention from you as parents, and they crying out for attention, you're going to address it. It ain't that you other two don't matter, but this one over here doesn't feel like we give him enough attention. So let's pull him in so that he feels like we love him enough and giving him enough attention. It's the same thing with this. I'm not saying that your life don't matter. I don't want to see no white person get shot in the head or unarmed white person get killed either. I don't want to see that shit.
Hey, the guy that got pushed, the old man.
That was some bullshit, bro. And they lied about that shit. They didn't know it was a video. They went back to the station and said he tripped and fell. Then a video came out.
They
said he tripped and fell. Then a video came out, and now these niggas is under pressure. Stop lying. There's cameras everywhere, buddy. Sorry.
Oh, Cops be lying all the fucking time.
Stop it. It's too many videos everywhere. That was some bullshit. They talking about he was the aggressor. The motherfucker was like 75. Move him out the way.
He couldn't even catch his balance, bro.
A riot helmet. Like, it looked like he was trying to just give my man's a riot helmet, and then my man's just start bugging out, pushed him back for nothing.
One thing to consider out of all of this too is that, and I think Slaps, you make a good point, we're in a war of good and evil. And I feel like every time in the spaces that I'm in, when I hear our allies speak up, it's always this question about, well, how do I, right? How can I support and be there? It's about being a good person. And I think that a lot of times that's the easiest thing. It's about being a good person. The same thing that you will want for your child, your family, the people that's in your circle. These are the same things that people have been fighting for centuries. And I think that if they just think of it in that sense, and so for me, it's like, if you're truly an ally, then most likely you're a good person. which is why dude is knowledgeable and able to speak more to it than you even know, because he cares, because he's a good person. And that is the problem of race. It's that simple. Racism is about good and evil. Even though we deal with all of the systemic things that come along with it, you have to learn through. But we're definitely dealing with that.
And I need niggas to stop, like people were saying, like, Obama divided the country, Trump's dividing the country. Listen, if black people are being oppressed by under any administration, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I don't give a fuck about who the president is if black people are being oppressed. The things y'all niggas got to understand is that your local government, your local judges, your local cops, these are the people oppressing you. Listen, Trump is a piece of shit, but he's not the nigga out here stepping on niggas' necks and shit. All right? It's the cop that's in your community that's doing so.
I would love people to...
I've seen cops on bullshit through every administration through my life. I just said that shit on Krack's podcast. I don't have a good story about a cop. I don't. I don't care about none of that shit. The country been divided. It's been divided. It didn't come with Obama. It's been divided. Like, segregation just ended in the 60s. Then we had the war on drugs. We went through, come on, Reagan era. You telling me the country wasn't divided through Reagan? It's been divided. Like, stop acting like this is some new shit. It's some bullshit.
I keep saying people really politicizing what I think is just a human rights issue. It's not Democrat or Republican. People
I don't even fuck with every Democrat. Like, niggas gotta stop that shit. I don't fuck with all that shit. A two-party system.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to any party. I get really irritated because I saw on Twitter like earlier, I think like Tom Arnold like became like a trending topic because he was bringing up about how like liberals like the narrative is liberals don't have guns. But let's show them that we have guns and support Black Lives Matter and go straight up to Trump. And that's another thing. Like, people keep making this a Trump issue. Like, yo, bro, we've said this multiple times. This is centuries worth of oppression. It's not a particular person that gets in the office and, you know, we're like, oh, because being real, I think George W. Bush came out with like a statement which basically admonished like Trump. He didn't directly say anything Trump related, but this is still the same president that Kanye said, you know, doesn't care about black people. And I would still stick to that. Like, I felt underserved as a black man at that time. That's kind of the point. Like, we have had to deal with this for too fucking long. And it's not based on, because even we go back to the Emancipation Proclamation, Abraham Lincoln was a fucking Republican at the time. So a lot of this shit is just like business as usual. People just change the names, like the characters change, but the game don't change. You know what I'm saying? And I can't like fuck around, talk about let's talk about the 13th Amendment. Like, if we gonna get into politics and all that shit, let's address that first. As far as like people being Democrats and Republicans and all liberals and all this shit, fuck, like I said this on Twitter, like most of the people that I know who got guns don't subscribe to no political party. And the reason that they have it is just to make sure like they're safe. They're not giving a fuck about like people's affiliation. Of course, go out and vote, all that shit. Make sure like people that fit, you know what I'm saying, like your agenda represent you in office. But as far as politicizing, like, this is not a political issue. This is a human issue. This is a human rights issue. Like, this is about people who don't have period. You know what I'm saying? And once you start bogging it down with all that other shit, like, you know, Trump was talking about George Floyd looking down about the jobs and all that shit. Like, that's a very disgusting example, but a lot of these politicians will spin it in a way that looks, well, they try to present it as less disgusting. And I don't fuck with that. I think and like I said, police brutality is very important for us to rally against, but let's not forget that that is a symptom of white supremacy. White supremacy is what we need to be fucking tearing down. That is it. Because once we get rid of that shit, then everything, all of this shit, as far as like generational wealth, all this shit that they've been cutting us off at, because like when we've tried to build Black Wall Street and shit, and when they've always come and burned down our shit or dropped bombs on our shit, that they've continuously stopped us from achieving. Fuck politics. We gotta focus on, like I said, the fist. Like, we gotta make sure like our shit is together and not get bogged down by like that other shit, because I feel like it's not as important as what we're trying to get to.
I got a question, Krack. What about your feelings? Because you said, so one thing that you said that stood out was this idea that we need to really be focused on white supremacy. What about capitalism and its roots and thinking deeper?
That's rooted in white supremacy. Like, okay. Anything.
I just want to see because I think some stuff is like social, structural, and then we got economic systems, and we got some people who don't want that part to be gone either.
All of these,
and it's just layers. Mm-hmm.
No, all of these systems are, I feel like, are all put in place with the understanding that we can't let this shit get out of our control. Let's make sure like nobody else has that opportunity to have what we have. Like this shit is rigged. Like everybody says that shit. Like everybody knows like the game is rigged. We try to do what we can, and we still got billionaires out of that shit. We still got millionaires out of that shit. And that's something that we can take pride in. But we know like from the get-go, we're on an uneven level. And a lot of that comes from, like I said, above. White supremacy is, and just a lot of this shit, when we talk about things being systemic, that's all across the board. That's the housing, that's the jobs, that's, you know what I'm saying? From
education.
Childcare. It goes healthcare. Like this is just
global pandemic.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, period. You know what I'm saying? It's everything. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I want like police brutality. Yes, we don't want that shit. But let's not forget, like, they don't want niggas in houses. Like, just period. Like, they don't want you to own shit. They do not want you to own anything.
And that's understanding that police brutality is an oxymoron in itself. I mean, when you understand the history of police, what was they even put in place to do? So even with these, and that's what I mean by, we have people who are waking up and know that these things are wrong, but I think that a lot of people really, and this is the part that we really, and this is what I feel like, it isn't our obligation. This is a white problem. But white people really need to get out of that box, because a lot of them have been taught so much wrong about our history, and they have been, and they continue this generation to generation, where it literally takes you, kind of like us as well, to be intentional about what's the truth. And for some of them, when they had those aha moments, it's like, what the fuck? You know, because they learn like everything I've been taught is a lie.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you really understand it, that's why it's so hard when you talk about breaking, because a lot of people have been taught so many lies about why these folks are this way, why things are the way that they are, but these things run so deeply that something as simple as police brutality is an oxymoron. You know what I'm saying? And we're not even understanding that, because we think the police are here to protect and serve, and that's not what they were created to do in the first place. So how can they have your best interest at heart when they were created, you know, post-slavery. Just having to know that, and it's just it's a lot. It's a big picture we got to tackle, and we got to do it simultaneously. Because to your point, one impacts the other, and that's what we gotta know.
Real black shit.
Here he comes.
Check my greens.
Man on the funniest pieces when he checked back.
What's going on? Fuck whites.
No.
No.
Hey, I
been on that
this
wave.
thing though. I want to think of this thing.
I'm sick. My shit was muted this whole time. Oh,
you was
my
talking?
God.
Go ahead.
No, I love that. I'm like, I know these niggas ain't ignoring me like this. This shit is crazy.
No, Miles, we wouldn't ignore you.
I'm on.
That would be the sickest shit. If he probably had the best rant he ever had too.
I'm so fucking.
It's over.
All right. So my question.
We got T Lee in this bitch. Z Tyler in this bitch. Oh, Rare checking in. What's good, Rare? I heard a lot about you. You my Rare. Nigga. You my nigga off my niggas. All right. That's how I do. You a friend of a friend. Rare in the building. T Lee in the building. After Rodney King and George Floyd, they said the economy went up. I don't know if y'all was. I guess y'all was discussing that, but. Yeah.
No, ask your question, Mom.
No, so one of my students, we be kicking it about real shit. And, I know me and Spooty was with me on a incident at my house before with the police. So they they basically asked, when a cop is disrespecting you, is it a law that you cannot speak, talk, kind of defend yourself? Like, what's the best attitude to have?
Wait,
when a cop
bro. From Spooty's side of the story, I heard Joe ass was tripping off the jump.
I mean,
nah. Hey, Miles just hopped out. The fuck y'all niggas?
No, that wasn't the case.
Bro, last time Spooty told the story, which it was on camera. It's on record that he told the story. He made you seem like you hopped out irritated, like nigga.
Bro, the cop had his hand on his gun approaching the car after we at my house chilling.
So I'm saying he's tripping in the case that his life may be in danger based off his actions.
That's a fact.
I'm not saying he was doing the most to get those warranted actions.
Thanks for clearing that up. Because you thought you was about to die that day.
Cause like
Spooty thought he was going with you.
I could have for sure.
Yeah, like I'm like, bro, just when we encounter the cops, it's like just kind of like be calm, be easy, comply. I mean, he was questioning them. He was questioning them.
About tell the story, please.
Man,
for the listeners,
he still was he was slightly a little bit tripping though. He wasn't being
I admit I was
violent or nothing. But
listen. When Miles get to that point, it's no turning back, buddy.
He was cursing. I'm like, oh my God,
it takes a lot for him to get there, but once he gets there, we're not turning back. Once he gets there,
yeah, tell the story.
But it take a lot. But once he get there, it ain't. Come on, man. Right, we ain't turning back. We here.
So me and Spooty been at the crib probably for like an hour. We was about to go to state. Actually, we was about to go to Michigan State, and we go to the gas station. Literally, we wasn't even gone 2 minutes. So apparently, my sister got robbed a block ahead, like a block away from my house. So we pull up. We sitting outside.
Where do you stay at?
I'm in Oak Park, by the way.
OP. I'm from OP.
So they pull up.
Shitty police department.
You know how they sped up though. It wasn't even a pull up. Like they flying. Like whoa. He hop out. Put your hands on the fucking stairwell, holding his gun. I just lost it because like I said, like we chilling and I'm at my house in my car. So I'm like, what's the issue, officer? And he just
mind you, we've chilled outside the house millions of times.
Come on, bro.
In the car, even standing outside, it's ridiculous.
And I ain't gonna lie, I was really annoyed because I asked him like, what's the issue, officer? And I wasn't even on tip yet, and he just still yelling. And I at that point I lost it because he's like, you not even let me know what's going on. And if this the case that my sister just got robbed, why would I come back to where it happened at? And you didn't even tell me that situation. Like
my wife's sister came out telling me, you know, like, chill out. They didn't even tell me what happened. They just got their hand on their gun and get ready to point out. And I'm like, bro, y'all can get the fuck away from my crib.
There you go.
So, I mean, I'm sure that wasn't the best thing.
You to that, though.
But I felt like he pushed me to that point, and it took a black officer to come talk to me, bro. And that shit is trash to me because, and this is what I asked him. I said, listen, bro, if your daughter or your sister got robbed, what is your emotion at that point? And he couldn't even answer.
Yeah, you can't never ask, like, use logic with a cop and watch them just like not answer. Anytime you say anything logical, like, so why exactly are you doing this? Like, they. So
the original question is, how do you act when a cop is pushing your buttons and trying to, like? And I told him, you know, try and stay calm as possible. And I told him, as a kid, try to get in contact with your parent as soon as possible.
Listen, bro, I'd have had cops run into the apartment off of, like, you know, an argument with a young lady. Yeah. All right, they done came into the apartment just tripping off of, like, the neighbors calling somebody tripping and shit. And niggas say shit to trigger you, and you gotta keep your cool. Because a nigga told me, I said, yo, y'all ain't supposed to. I remember I told a nigga, I said, y'all not supposed to be able to just come in my crib and do all this searching that y'all doing. This nigga said, oh, you know, your Michigan State education told you that? Huh?
Shit like that.
Same thing happened to me.
You ever been called homie? You ever been called homie?
Yeah. You said the same thing happened to you?
Same thing. And y'all see me.
This shit was in Lansing. That shit was some bullshit. Like, man, like, yeah, my education told me that, buddy. You're not supposed to be able to be in here doing all that. But you know, I ain't had nothing, so I'm like, fuck it.
That's what's important. We have to start educating ourselves about law.
Facts.
And I think if we were better educated, it would be easier for us to handle police. Because I said the same thing. So I'm like, it's something you're doing right now that's illegal, but I can't put my finger on it because I'm not educated.
It's something.
And it's like when you
Michigan State education, like, nigga, fuck you.
You know
nigga.
What you can and can't do, and you can bring that out. And even if something happens, you're able to better protect yourself after it happens. And even we find that, you know, some of us, well, I know myself, I can speak for myself. I've had incidents to where I was educated enough and I had the resources or access to where those things didn't impact me long term because I had a situation with a cop and I know that something wasn't right or they were using their position to kind of get over on me. And I think that post that also, even when those incidents happen, how do we handle it posted? A lot of us, we throw them tickets away. We don't deal with it. You know what I'm saying? We have to start dealing with it. Standing up for ourselves.
I can say that as a younger person, I didn't feel like dealing with shit. But as an adult, I got time to deal with shit. I'm coming for every little piece of situation, nigga. Fucking Afterpay, the website that lets you like pay shit in like 4 installments. These niggas got a little black-owned section on their website, and I saw a couple non-black-owned businesses. I'm like, no, I got the time to send this email today, niggas. These niggas, I'm on this shit. These niggas ain't black-owned. Get them the fuck out of here, all right? And they sent an email back like, we're going to forward this to our website. When I was like 24, I wouldn't have did that shit. I'm like, I don't feel like it. I feel like it now. I feel like it. Couple comments. Needless to say, so Jay, he said these cops so janky, but how can the cop tell us how to respond with a gun pointed at me? Facts. Ryan, Big Neff, he said you just do what they tell you, or you really can do is you can't really do anything else, or they gonna fuck you up. And Ryan got stopped by the cops about 2 months ago and just got patted down, recorded, picture taken, all type of bullshit like 2 months ago out on Clinton Township.
It's important to say though. It's important to say though. You can still do everything that they tell you, and you will still get murdered. And Z Taylor, I had a cop point a gun in my face at 15. I wasn't that young. I was in my 20s when a cop actually pointed a weapon at me. Me too.
But this is all like
he didn't point it at.
this is all ridiculous shit. And I was
That's
down
ridiculous.
like this, and they still pointed it. I'm like, damn, I thought I did what I was supposed to do. It was 5 of them shits.
So
Like,
my thing is,
and these are the things we should be fighting for. Legislation. You shouldn't be able to point a gun, right?
the
We gotta
worst
start
part
speaking
about
up on that
this,
because all of y'all should have that story.
the worst part about this, like when I was a teen, I got pulled out of my car at a corner store. They thought we were suspects for something else. We got patted down. They had like machine guns and everything. Like they thought we was part of some shit. They let us go and stuff like that. But it was a time my house that got raided because they felt like we were selling drugs out the house, whatever case may be. And at the time, my nephew was he's autistic and stuff like that. So some of his functions aren't as normal as others. You know what I mean? So he follows directions, but sometimes he can get overly excited and you know what I mean. But they were like pointing guns at my autistic nephew and trying to force him to get down and comply. And in that moment, luckily I wasn't there, but I could just imagine them coming through my crib, tearing it up, and trying to get my nephew to comply to some orders that he may not fully comprehend at the time. You know what I mean? And I could that probably would have traumatized me. But even knowing about it, it fucked me up. Like, bro, like you can't tell that. You know, he has a condition. You can't kind of tell. I just don't. I understand that they have to have force and they have to kind of present this dominant.
They don't.
Hey, needless to say, sir, it should be legal to shoot them if they really on that shit. And I agree.
Exactly.
We can't even protect ourselves, even if it's self-defense, and that's a fact. I had 5 guns pointed at me. If I wanted to shoot one of these niggas, I probably would go to jail for life. And that's insane that these niggas can shoot me, but I can't shoot back. And Miles is an advocate of this. He always telling us to have weapons. He always said, weapons, gear up, have it ready. But if we do anything,
it's going to jail regardless. Regardless of situation. Shooting for self-defense, like if it's like just a civilian.
Shouts to the 7 people watching too, man. I appreciate you.
If it's the police, if it's the police, you going to jail. Like you going to jail, bro. Like if you use it, if a bullet comes out of the gun, you are going to jail. Like period.
Can everybody give their first
I ain't never went to jail for shooting no nigga though.
Their first encounter of maybe like racism? Can everybody give theirs?
Cody, I wanted to comment off what you was just talking about.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like that's very important, and I feel like people sleep on that as one of the great topics. As far as
hold on, hey Kenya, you good? You straight? It's past. It's like 6:55.
We gonna have to
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, cool. We good. No, I'm saying I was making sure she was straight. She can stay here the whole time.
But,
she on the flyer.
They made a post talking about, how the training for being a barber has more hours than the police has more hours for training.
Facts.
I feel like that has to get expanded because there's so many situations and it's always, well, I wasn't prepared for this situation. So what the fuck are y'all doing in these trainings, bro? Because it's a lot like, again, and that's probably me just working at a school. I could tell if a kid is autistic or not, you know what I'm saying? Even an adult. You know what I'm saying? You as a cop should be able to see and read all these issues. And
it's a child, though. Like, come on, man. It's a child. I think he had to be like 10 at the time, bro. Like 8. You know what I mean?
It's important that we have police and communities that are from the actual communities that they are policing. Like
they need mandatory speaking engagement in community services.
Like who actually care about like what's going on in their community. A lot of these motherfuckers come from like suburbs and go to like these cities with high crime and look at it as a way for them to like crack some heads or some shit, like be on the shield or some shit.
Bro, most of these police be like athletes that didn't make it and they be mad and frustrated. So
like want to take out frustration, bro.
It's a lot of them out here.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like that shit is that shit is very frustrating. Just all of that shit, bro.
But I can't remember my first encounter with racism because I didn't grow up around like white people or nothing. Really, the main shit was at Michigan State for real, bro. When they was hanging them black dogs.
Oh, that was the first.
That's like my first name.
Bro, let me tell
you.
Something.
You're born, but it was like
see, you wasn't trying to go to the white. We beat the shit out of fucking Sigma Epps for that racist shit. Like our first year at Michigan State, we beat the shit out of them niggas for racist shit. That wasn't the first encounter I had. Just at Michigan State. At Michigan State, that was the first encounter. We wasn't even frat yet. Like we beat the fuck out some niggas for some racist shit. Like we ain't had time for it. Even your man's Calvin was fighting. You know it was some shit if that was happening.
Hey, shout out to my guy Jay, man. He said they don't even view us as kids, man. That is a true fact. That's a fact.
Hey, my nigga JRJ shit keep getting flagged for review on YouTube, but I'm posting them, my nigga. No,
Jay, he got his own podcast as well. He really like a boisterous guy. Like y'all should tune in.
Hey, Jay, who knew? Cause he ain't never mentioned you here on the podcast.
I posted him on my page.
Who knew?
I posted him on my page.
Now I'm talking about here on the platform. The platform is what matters. Who knew?
Here today.
Hey, Jay, who knew?
Me and him support each other, brother. Stop
who
it.
Knew, Jay?
Me and him support each other, bro.
I know now. I know now. Nah, Jay, we fuck with you, bro. I ain't been on social media.
He actually a capper from Michigan State.
Oh, facts.
I believe, yeah. I believe so. I think, Michigan State. Yeah.
Yeah, Spooty is fake as hell.
Come on. Hey, Jay know he be fake as hell too. Stop playing with me.
Nah, we fuck. Hey.
Stop it, bro.
I'm rooting for anybody that's black. In the Wale voice.
But look, my first encounter. I'm gonna go to my first encounter. I was at a skating rink. I try to forget about this day because I was young, and I wish I would have did something. But I was walking past a group of white people, and they literally said, "What you looking at, nigger?" And I was at a shock of words to say. And I was actually with, I think I was with my brothers. They wasn't with me.
How old were you?
I was probably like 8, 10-ish. I really, like when I say I try to forget this day, when I try to forget this day, I literally like, I don't know where I was at. I try to forget. I didn't tell nobody because I felt embarrassed. Like when I got to my brothers, I was like, maybe I should say something to them. But then I felt like I should have said something then. So I just try to forget about the whole shit. But it was a skating ring I was at, and I walked past them, and they just was like staring at me, and they said, "What you looking at, nigger?" And I just looked, and I just kept fucking walking, and from that day, I was just like, I felt like a hoe. I ain't gonna lie, I felt like weak as fuck. But I mean, this is the first time. Well, I ain't gonna say this is the first time I said something. I just told my girl the other day. But I really haven't shared that with nobody, and I really didn't know how to feel. I felt more mad at myself because I didn't do shit. More mad at myself than them, to be honest. So that was my first encounter with face-to-face, like racial type of discrepancy or something like that. And I was like 8 or 10 or something like that. I'm still embarrassed though. I wish I would have fucked one. At least would have punched one of them niggas.
You got your ass beat at 8, so I agree. I agree with you chilling. Because hey, if you outnumbered, nigga.
No, but I had my twin brothers with me. My twin brothers was with me, and my auntie and uncle at the time.
But they knew where they was at though.
Where was y'all at?
Like it was. I have to ask them to my auntie and uncle. Like when I literally say,
how you fight.
You know, they weren't around me where I was at, but we were in the same building. But like when I literally say I try to forget the day, like I literally just know what happened, but I try to forget it, bro, because I really was embarrassed about it.
I told Krack earlier today, like I know this wasn't my first encounter with cops or nothing like growing up on the east side, but like the first thing I can remember with cops was negative. My mom's second husband, you know, he walking out of the gas station with me in the car, and you know, the cops was talking to him, asking him questions, and he's like, I ain't do nothing, man. I'm just trying to get in the car, like my son in the car. And they took this nigga head and bashed it up against our Ford Explorer, bashed it up against it, started patting him down, arrested him first, then started patting him down, talking crazy to him. A cop came over to me. He like, it's okay, like relax. And you know, they let him go to get in the car, and we didn't have a discussion about that. And I realized why we didn't have a discussion about that was because it's just some natural shit that happens to niggas. They didn't find anything on him. He wasn't like a drug dealer. He wasn't a criminal. This nigga got a regular job at a plant, at a Ford plant. It's just like, but that's what I remember. You know what I'm saying? It's just that. And then just growing up, seeing a few of my niggas, you know what I'm saying? Seeing a few of my niggas get killed or anything like that. You know, cops never showed up. You know, the ambulance always did. But the cops never showed up. We never got justice for like a lot of my friends. You know, it's niggas still walking around to this day that I know has something to do with it, or that I know was involved, and it's just like, you know, we just leave it at that. You know, they ain't never show up. Niggas done broke into my house. Niggas broke into my house on the east side 3 times. They ain't never gonna try to find these niggas. Just shit like that. I ain't got no good stories about cops unless they let me go for like a speeding ticket, driving on suspended license. Like, I ain't got no real like heroic stories about cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done talked to some of the white kids in Fraser when I was substitute teaching there. They got some heroic stories about cops. Like, this nigga came and got my fucking cat out of a tree. Just came and the house was on fire next door. I came. Man, these niggas don't show up for shit in Detroit. Not over there. Not over on East Warren. They weren't coming through. Like, nigga died. Okay, well, you know, we know it's due to gang violence. We're gonna leave it alone. You know, it's just shit like that, man.
To shoot my dog on my dog, something happened where I could not, my people wasn't there, and I could not get this nigga head out the gate. And they rolled past, and like I guess my neighbor told him, like, you know, he having trouble with his dog, and they was trying to shoot my damn dog, bro. And just hearing like they say me cats out of trees and shit, my dog wasn't even on tip or nothing. Like, that was the first thing them niggas was trying to do.
Shoot the damn dog.
Shoot the dog.
It's crazy. Can you your first encounter with cops ever, whether it was for you or
racism,
for somebody you care about, just, you know?
I got a lot of MSU stories.
Man, what East Lansing cops is the worst.
But you know what's crazy though? I think that I've never had a bad experience though. Well, no, I take that back. I do got a Miami story, and that one's really bad, and you know, still had to fight some of those things.
Miles made sure we ain't go to jail there. Miles made sure we ain't go to jail there. And he was drunk out his mind, and he made sure we ain't go to jail there, boy.
Yeah.
Nah, that's facts. Hey, Miles was drunk as shit, but he got us out that club, bro. I ain't gonna forget that. He got us out that club.
I being extra drunk Kenya to get us out that bitch.
Bro, he said he like, we ain't gonna do this here. He got us out of there, bro, because we was outnumbered, and now I was on tip. I didn't care.
I don't think I have like I didn't terrible stories, but definitely some underlying like racism, white supremacy taking place, especially at MSU. I mean, like times that I remember one time I was hosting something at my apartment. I think it was in like Abbott Place. And, you know, we lived across the hall from our friends. And like, I guess somebody had left the door open, and I'm walking out. I'm like, hold up. So I'm going to like close the door. And the cop then put his whole foot in. So it's me and the cop at the door. I'm like, you're not coming in my house. You know what I'm saying? But lo and behold, him and his buddies was in the house. And that was when I had the situation around, like, I know it's something illegal going on here. And he was saying like a lot of smart stuff. They ended up like making me do a breathalyzer. I think I blew like a 0.0 something. And it was just crazy, but they were trying every way they can to just find something with me. I mean, of course they let us go because they couldn't do anything, but it's just simple stuff like that. Like, all of this, and you bust in my crib. You feel me? Now, granted, you know, there's a lot of things going on, smoke in the air and stuff. You know, college kids, people shouldn't have probably been drinking. But again, like, why? For what? You know what I'm saying? For what? But yeah, Austin stories at MSU.
Everybody's had like this crazy police interaction. I feel like, and yo, cops cannot stick their fucking foot in your door and stop you from closing it. Like that's how I got arrested off of that shit. I got arrested.
That's patriarchy though against me, little old me, you know.
Yeah, like if you deny like access to your crib, like they legally can't do shit. Like they can't. And I got arrested like behind that shit. Like when these cops put their foot in between like the door and made their way inside, and that's how I got the charges that were against me dropped. It was because it was basically an illegal search and seizure. You know what I'm saying, for the little case I had. But yeah,
but in a place like East Lansing, we're all they have to do.
Yeah, because we talked about that too. Like we been like on.
Why you want to throw that guy in jail? Listen to him. Come on, man.
We gotta pay like for our freedom, even when we didn't do shit, just to get charges dropped. If you can afford it. My camera just went out, but even if you can afford it,
because he said Sigma Pi white boy called us niggas, and if you was out there when we beat them niggas up, shouts to you. We beat the shit out of a whole white frat and like ran when the siren started going. We got the fuck on.
Not okay.
If you was out there, shout outs to you, because it was a tragedy for white people that day.
Tragedy.
It was a tragedy in the white community at Michigan State for that day.
Well, since we talking about Michigan State, can we segue?
Yeah.
It's about that time. It's about that time.
All right, we up the just for the George Floyd shit, man. Hey, black people, stay mobilizing. Please understand how voting in your local elections is more important than voting in your national elections. If you want that nigga to get out of that prosecutor to get out of office that locks your nigga up, vote for it. It does matter. White people tell us that voting doesn't matter. It's systemic racism. Why are they still going to the polls while you at home, nigga? It matters. All right? You can't deny if a nigga is just landsliding a motherfucker. You can't deny that. All right? Please get out and vote in your communities. Please get out and preach and talk and protest about shit that you don't want in your communities. Stop running to these white communities. I'm victim of it. I'm in Clinton Township, my nigga. Trust me. Stop running to these white communities. We need to build up our black communities. We need to build up our black schools. We need more black educators. Shout out to Mouse. We need more black educators. We need more black officers, more black prosecutors, more black judges. We need more black everything. And now, if now is any time for you to speak your mind on shit with your company or speak your mind with shit concerning any black issues, now is the time. Nothing's gonna happen to you, my nigga. I promise you. I wrote up emails for niggas that wanted to send shit to their companies. I wrote 3 fucking emails last week for shit that niggas wanted to send to their companies, and ain't nothing happened to them. They still got their job. They sent them fucking emails out. My nigga Spooty got the Joe Budden beater on.
No, bitch, I was about to say it.
He's ready. I'm ready.
Oh my God.
Kenya still here. She ready. Krack might have that EOS webcam utility beta right there, but we ready. So let's talk about it. I'm gonna put out a quick disclaimer. Quick disclaimer. It's been a lot of shit going on. Justice for MSU, justice for EMU, justice for CMU, justice for OU. It's a lot of shit going around concerning sexual harassment and sexual abuse. All right? Been a lot of shit going on. I'm not here to talk about who's guilty. I'm not here to talk about who's innocent. I'm not here to talk about anything in general except promoting a place for women to come forward that doesn't have to be fucking Twitter, where they don't have to be anonymous. We need to set up a place. We need to promote a place where they can say what they have to say at the time being. There are a lot of reasons why women come forward 5 years later, 10 years later, and I'm not faulting you for that. That's what you have to do. I'm here to promote a place where you feel comfortable, where you feel safe, and where us as men hold another nigga accountable for doing bullshit. We're not here to talk about names. We're not here to talk about stories. We're not here to talk about theories. But I will say on behalf of Young Slaps and Young Slaps only, if you have 3 or more allegations, my nigga, I'm looking at you funny. Even if I'm cool with you, nigga, I'm looking at you funny if you got 3 or more. The one nigga, maybe. It could be me. So the one nigga, maybe. 3 or more, looking at you kind of funny, buddy. You got to talk to me about your actions. Or you don't have to talk to me about your actions, but I'm looking at you as if you're guilty. But we won't say any names here. We're not going to get into any of the drama. But we're here to talk about what sexual abuse is, what sexual harassment is, and how we can create a safe space for women, especially Black women, who come forth and talk about these things as soon as they happen. Your popularity, your power, the nigga that you think you are at these places does not mean anything. You can still go down years later for this shit. I don't want women to think that power, popularity, or anything makes it to the point where they don't have a community standing behind them. Right now, let's keep it a buck. A lot of Black women don't think Black men stand behind them on this shit. We do. It's a lot that don't, but trust me, the good ones, which are all here, the good ones are talking to them about not discrediting what you guys are saying. If you're one of the women who are commenting and being vocal and lying, if you're lying about this, you're making the victims who actually dealt with sexual harassment, actually dealt with sexual abuse, be on the bad side. So please, if you're mad at a nigga, leave it at that. Don't be up there lying and making up stories about someone who did absolutely nothing. But if you feel uncomfortable, if you feel that you have been sexually abused, sexually harassed, or anything, please speak out. And you do not have to be anonymous. We support you. But let's get into it.
I'm sick you just had this presidential.
First question.
He just went crazy, man. He just went crazy.
First question I want to ask.
Go. Let the clip go.
Fuck these niggas. First question I want to ask. First question I want to ask to Kenya. I don't know for sure if you ever dealt with anything of this nature. But I want to ask why, because a lot of people say, why don't women come forward right at the jump? So I want to ask you as a woman who I'm sure have had friends or associates, family, anything that have had to deal with sexual misconduct. Mm-hmm. Why do they not come forward at the time being? Now, while we know here on the forecast, I want you to explain to the listeners why they may not come forward about such things right at the moment.
So I can't speak for everybody, right? I can only speak to my experience and the things that I have seen, right? Because I feel like different people experience trauma differently. And so with that, you have to understand that people also process trauma differently, right? And so for some women, I mean, myself included, like, I feel like it's crazy because most women have had their story. And that's just, you know, so for so many people to be denying that anything has happened, we know that's not the truth. Because statistically speaking, you know, somebody did something. And I think that some people don't come forward immediately or say the things because some people don't know they dealt with it. You know, earlier before we got on the podcast live, we were all having a discussion. And a lot of this stems from childhood. A lot of this stems from culture and the things that we've normalized and kind of have dealt with over time. And sometimes for some women, and I know that I've had a conversation with a few just because of everything that's going on, there were women who literally didn't realize what they had dealt with until they sought therapy or they got some type of counseling later in their life, because they had to replay the moment. But because we've normalized so many things within our culture and in our communities, we could be having moments of sexual harassment, sexual assault, whatever you want to call it in those instances, and not even realize that we're dealing with that, right? Until we talk it through with someone who has a better understanding or a lens to say, hey, that wasn't right, and have you think about it. And I think another piece is a sense of embarrassment. It's a sense of, oh my God, I can't believe this happened to me. And one of the things that is similar in almost all the stories is some type of liquor or partying or people that are happening. And so, you got to put yourself in that position, right? So you've been taken advantage of, or something happened that just didn't sit right with your spirit. And for sometimes, some men are just aggressive. And so even if you did have an intent on being in that space, you probably just didn't feel comfortable. And so then you see yourself after everything has happened, you're reflecting now. And it's like, hold up, what the hell did I just go through? Hold up, who am I? Now you begin questioning your womanhood, what it is that you feel like is right and wrong. You start questioning this person, and then you put yourself in a position where it's like, I'm embarrassed. I don't want to talk about this. I don't know what somebody else gonna feel. I don't know what somebody else gonna say about me. And in your mind, this is in isolation. You're the only one dealing with this. But I do agree that we have to start empowering each other. And we gotta start telling our stories, because then you realize it ain't just me. And for the people who have the multiple stories and the similar interactions, it's like at some point you got to do some inner work, whether you realize or not that you're doing something wrong on the male end.
Let me say this. I will sit here on this podcast and say that I know for a fact that I've said out of line things to women. I haven't ever held a woman against her will or done anything like that. Most sexual encounters that I had in college, niggas used to joke with me about, because I used to always say that I used to ask the chick 1,000 times, is she sure? All right, and my niggas used to laugh at me about the shit, like back in the day. Miles, this is before you. But like, I used to ask, you sure you want to do this? This is cool. You know what I'm saying? Niggas would be like, nigga, what are you doing all that for? Blah, blah, blah. But I was raised by women, so they used to tell me, like, just make sure you know what you're doing, right? And with that, I know I have said shit to chicks that was like maybe on the aggressive end, but what I can say is that I knew or was comfortable with these women to where I knew I could say these things, because this is our relationship. All right. So I knew that from the jump. Niggas get away with saying a lot of crazy shit. And for our listeners, I just want to paint the picture of what we're talking about here. Sexual abuse, okay? Definition is the abusive sexual behavior by one person upon another, male or female. All right? It's often perpetrated by using force or taking advantage, manipulation, of another person. All right? This is why a lot of you niggas go after young girls, because you can manipulate them. Now, sexual harassment is when you unlawfully harass a person because of that person's sex. Harassment can include talking about things of sexual nature, offensive comments about women in general, offensive comments about sex. All right, so a lot of you niggas engage in sexual harassment unknowingly.
All the time.
All right, unknowingly.
That's a fact.
Unknowingly. Because y'all be under the Facebook stats like, hey, baby girl, you fine as hell, I eat your ass. Like, okay, now while that may be the case.
When it's up, you know it's stuck.
While it may be a nice bull ass.
You tripping with that one.
While it may be a nice bull ass, you can't say it to her. All right.
Oh, I never said that one, but go ahead.
I've said it, but who did I say it to? I said it to Carl. I didn't go up to her like, man, you got a nice bowl of ass. No, I said it to Carl like, man, that's a nice bowl of ass over there. I would never say it to her. I never say it to her. That's out of line.
Did you say a nice bowl?
A nice bowl. Yeah, a nice
Krack,
bowl.
you never heard that?
A nice bowl, Krack.
I've never heard that.
That's a new one.
And
what?
Okay.
Listen,
Come on, man. Hey, they ain't
I understand. I understand it.
Miles, they haven't been out with me as much as you.
Hey, I get it.
Spooty, I don't know, bro. I think you might have heard that one.
A bowl.
Yeah, nice bowl, buddy. Yeah, nice bowl.
Let's continue.
It's a nice bowl of it.
Never heard this.
Krack that heard me. You know, I caught chicks. I'm a nice guy.
That's what I'm saying. No, I've heard you get in your bag. I've just never heard the bowl of ass.
I've known the women, and I know that I can say that to them. But if anybody knows me, if it's like my first time with a chick, hoe or not, dead ass, because I've been in situations where I know for a fact that this woman is promiscuous, but I'm still not going to engage with her like that. Now I ask you, sure, this is what you want to do? Okay, cool. We on the same page. Okay. I can even talk about a situation where like me and the chick was joking about like oral sex, and we was joking about it, and while it happened, that was all that happened because that was all that we joked or talked about. So while I might not have gotten what I wanted when I came there, I didn't try to engage or pressure her into anything further. This is what we discussed. This is it. This is the end of the line. And I've had women ask me, and they could vouch for this if they want to come forward and do so. But I've had women ask me like, hey, why you ain't try to have sex with me? I didn't try to have sex with you because we didn't discuss sex. We might discuss oral sex, eating you out, you
eating butt,
fellatio, not eating butt, but hey, let's slow down.
He wasn't there.
I wasn't there yet. Not yet. Thank you, Miles. I wasn't there yet. I wasn't at the bowl yet. But I've had them ask like, why didn't you try that? And it's like, that's not nothing to try. That's nothing that we discussed. We joked about and talked about like me performing. We're gonna keep it political. Me performing cunnilingus on you, and you performing fellatio on me.
You
and we kept it there. And we kept it there. We kept it there. I'm not going to try to do anything other than that. That's it. Now, if you tell me that that's what you want at that moment, we could talk about it. But if that's it, that's it. All right. I can go home and jack off and be straight. I don't need none of that. But some niggas, for some reason, they need that.
I got it.
All right. And I don't understand why they need that, but they need that so they may pressure you or force you into things where you feel uncomfortable.
We've been talking about power a lot, bro.
And then after that, you don't feel like you're comfortable to come forward about such things. And I understand, because these Greek letters, what a lot of niggas don't want to address is that these Greek letters do lend you power. Don't think that your letters don't have power. You as a man on campus, for a young lady who is on campus, you have power. You're the popular guy. You're the guy. You're throwing programs. Niggas is coming to your parties. Niggas is coming to your events. You that nigga on campus. Your letters give you power, nigga. Like, I might have been a popular nigga on Michigan State campus, but I'll never negate the fact that me becoming an IOTA elevated that shit. It did. I'll never negate that fact. A lot of you niggas like to do that, but a lot of women didn't come forward because niggas would never believe you. Niggas will never believe that you of that stature with those letters, and we're not saying whose letters it is because we've all been called out. Every org. So if you got a problem, most of y'all niggas who got called out, got my phone number, call me, nigga. I'm still in that bag with passing out hands for free. We could do it on COVID-19. But if you feel like
wear a mask.
With a mask, I'm ready. So you having those letters gave you power. And I know it gave you a sense of power because it gave a nigga like me a sense of power. So I know it gave you some. All right. So if you're on campus doing these things, or even if you're not educated about it, and the young lady felt uncomfortable about it, just understand that she didn't speak out because nobody would believe her. I got niggas I wouldn't believe would do such things, but I know people that would. All right. So with that being said,
Booty has something to say.
I got something to say.
How do we go ahead? How do we create a safe space for women to feel like they could come forward about such things? And shouts to Needless to Say, and shouts to T. Lee saying that I'm keeping it 100. They said jack off and be straight. Don't do all that weird shit.
Bro, jacking off is better.
Shouts to y'all.
Oh wait, jacking off is way better than trying to do some shit that
I can please myself better than any woman, I promise. All right? That dead ass. Or here.
Deal with nothing
dead ass. All right, buddy? You give me the right amount of moisture, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Got that.
Go ahead, Spooty.
So this is for Kenya. So naturally in these intimate situations, the male has to be most of the time is the aggressor. So maybe it could be y'all laying down together or something like that. Y'all may get to kissing, but the guy wanted to test the waters and shoot a shot and see, so he might touch a place that may be considered inappropriate, that may be without necessarily a consent at that time, because she didn't say like, hey, go ahead and do that, you know what I mean? Y'all just kissing or something like that. But he like, let me, what would you say to, like, how do we do that? Because technically that's a form of it. I would say, I think that's a form of it. And a lot of people can be guilty of that, because a dude has to kind of shoot that shot. So how do you feel like maybe a male can go about those situations and kind of be in the clear?
I feel like that's a layered question, right? And I think that for me, again, it's just kind of going back into more. It got a simple stuff for me, like morals and values, respect. And I think like our generation, and especially this next generation, is very hypersexual, like our culture. And so I feel like that plays a part into how we kind of interact with each other. And again, these are challenging like our norms, and I feel like that also goes back into relationships and how people approach relationships and dating. And we got to look at stuff like the hookup culture, you know what I'm saying? And all of these things that are normalized that are essentially shouldn't be normal. And it kind of gets back to, and I think I had this I don't know if I had this conversation with Miles, but rethinking like, what is college? Mm-hmm. Right? What do people think about when you think about college and you think about this culture? You think about hanging out, you think about turning up, you think about partying, and a lot of times sex is a part of that. Like sex is a part of the equation. And until we start to address our intention in these spaces, and then how we act or how we interact with each other in these spaces. Because some stuff just comes down to respect. I feel like some niggas know when a girl feel uncomfortable. And sometimes girls need to not be silent and speak up. Like, stop. I don't like that. But sometimes, again, going along with what you was talking about, sometimes you might deal with certain people. It's around, okay, I'm embarrassed because I'm not ready, or I'm embarrassed because I don't want to do that. But then I'm in the situation. But then you think about, how did you get into that situation? And we just really got to start checking ourselves and our intentions and how we come about. And another thing that's interesting in those stories is this idea of friends, right? And a lot of these things, it's other people around. And I know this came up when we was having an R. Kelly conversation. In most instances, when young people or just people in general are being manipulated or taken advantage of, In a lot of those instances, somebody knows something about what's going on. Not all the time, but especially in college culture, you see your friend drunk, you know what I'm saying? Help. Be of service. But a lot of times, too many of us be too turned to where we ain't on our P's and Q's. So that's how we get into vulnerable situations. Or on the other flip side, with guys, you know your homeboy be too turned and he be on that trash. Check him. And a lot of times we play too cool, you know what I'm saying? And so I feel like it's so many layers before you even get to the bedroom and you actually in that situation and you get uncomfortable. There are things that we have to handle before that even happens, right? Why am I so easily or vulnerable to a situation to even end up with a man that I feel uncomfortable with in the first place? It's a culture we creating, and it kind of force you into them situations. So I just think that that's so layered. It's not a one answer like, oh, this is what we can do. We have to really start doing inner work with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And really
T. Lee says King is speaking facts. So keep going crazy.
Yeah. So it's just so much to it. We just got to really think about a lot of these things in our culture and our norms and what we make okay.
Kenya, would you say that are black men supportive in this realm? Are we? I'm talking majority rules. So I'm talking majority.
For me, I mean, the question is, are us black women ready to be responsive for that? And I think that a lot of us are so hurt because we all dealt with, and me included, I have a story, right? And so because so many of us are sensitive to this topic, right now we're kind of similar, you know, all of the protests and stuff that's happening, all the unrest. This is that period for black women having this conversation, having this, that we're in unrest right now. So some stuff you ain't gonna like, some stuff gonna make you feel some type of way. Some people gonna be getting through under the bus, slid, dragged, whatever it is. But the thing that I challenge us with is how can we now make our black brothers or our partners be able to have them real conversations? And how do we get to a point of healing together? And I think right now, a lot of us are just so angry and frustrated because of the lack of accountability from the men or the accused, that right now we're not hearing y'all. So we have to get to a place to be more understanding so that now we can start to heal from this. Because, all right, we got you, we holding you accountable, but how do we ensure that now with this new class of 2020-21 about to start, how do we ensure that these women feel protected? Just
for the viewers, I'm not laughing at Kenya, bro. This nigga Steve is texting me. I'm not laughing at you, Kenya.
I ain't even saying that.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
So, King, I'm gonna go off what you just said, because again, like, as soon as it happened, I was trying to have these conversations with females that I'm cool with or whatever. But I feel like that's a big part of what you said, that I feel like the women is so hurt and been going through this for so long, they don't want to talk about it right now. So it's like, how much time do you think that like the women need in order to get to like start showing some action or making some action, get things happening out here?
I mean, I don't think it's not a time period.
I don't want to talk about it, or this.
I don't think it's really a time period. I think what can show so right now, black men are not the allies, right, in this situation. Start making changes. Start doing things differently, because again, this ain't gonna happen overnight. I'm sure, the world about to open up, fall gonna come. It might be a situation this upcoming fall, right? Summer, people hanging out, party. It's probably happening right now while we on the podcast. It's not about giving time. It's about how do we start to deal with ourselves, hold ourselves accountable, and create a different culture. Because now this is a cultural thing. So now, y'all know earlier, I'm going to take it back to what I was saying about the white folks. We tired of allies, leadership. Y'all are in positions of power. Hold people accountable. Maybe we need to have more sexual assault where black men are learning about that and understanding it. Because from your definition, which is why definition is so important, a lot of people engage in some of these activities don't even realize it, like sexual harassment. It's simple. But because I don't understand that, and because, we talked about earlier, we grew up on booty tag. Booty tag is sexual harassment. You know what I'm saying? And for a young lady, it's certain boys, you was like, okay, that's cool. But there's other boys, you like, don't touch me. That's, you know what I'm saying? Because you felt some type of way. So we're in a normalized culture of people who grew up being sexually harassed in the game. Okay. So now we're dealing with those childhood traumas that we've taken on in our life. And like I told some of my neos as we was having a conversation, those guys didn't stop playing booty tag when they got to college. They actually wanted to go, all right, we passed booty tag, first base, second base, third base. You know what I'm saying? Like,
now we done all played a little bit of booty tag, all right? We done all played some booty tag.
It's not really about pointing a finger. It's not about giving time. It's about us healing through this together and y'all having the strength to hold your friends, your family accountable so that y'all, and then actually create solutions like, well, how do we stop this? How do we combat this from us? And check yourselves. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a process. And you just got to keep at it.
Can I say something too? Go ahead, Ma.
My bad. So have y'all ever been sexually harassed by a woman?
Yeah.
Man, shit, bro. When I was 14, shit, I lost my virginity to a way older chick, bro.
Hell yeah.
I enjoyed it, by the way. All right, but I ain't gonna say it wasn't sexual harassment. It might have been. I definitely got pressured into doing it, for sure.
Hell yeah. I think
I've usually just let it go though. Like it's not.
Oh no, I let it go, but
I'm not saying you're not. I know you know. Probably.
Okay.
You probably let it go, you freaky ass nigga. Oh, okay. Look at you, buddy.
No, listen. Hey, I wanted to say something though. I think.
Hey, this nigga Jay said the wood is the perfect example of booty tag.
I for sure said the same thing, dog. The wood.
We're not going to say that, y'all.
Man, the perfect example.
Everybody need a Stacy, huh?
No,
I ain't get beat up.
You're right. You need an accountability partner.
Everybody need a Stacy around this bitch.
No, I think it comes down to like what we were talking about earlier is just about care for the individual and understanding like your body's a temple. Like that's not something like I understand we are in a hypersexualized time anyway, but I know it's gonna sound corny, but like you should really think about who you are, having sex with, like whether you're a man or a woman, and if that is somebody, like at least care for them on a basic level where you be like, yo, I wouldn't want to hurt this person on this level. Like I feel like that matters too. Like we was talking about, yo, sometimes it's just better to go home and jack off. We didn't say that shit. Sometimes some of these females, like even if it's easy, bro.
Nah, it sound nasty, but
no, it's some
real shit. Just go home and just jacking off is like that could save you from a lot of shit. Like even cheating, it can save you from just jack off.
It's just a lot of trouble. But if you have that respect and understand, like this is nothing to be taken lightly. Like I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like sex is sex or whatever. But like just have like some type of care about like your body, like you know what I'm saying, like if you just trying to fuck anything like on either side, like are you
hey,
so true.
So like when I was back in my little single phase, I used to
kiss that nigga,
right? I was getting harassed.
Phase.
No, but like
this shit was last week.
Man, that's been damn. How long has it been?
Yeah, you know,
it's a long time, bro. Just say a long time.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, come on, don't even try to put the years together because they gonna try gonna try to balance some shit together, buddy. Don't even put the years.
It's a long time.
No, I'll be like we've been talking for a long time. I don't even know the official. Like I'll be forgetting sometimes. But no, back like a couple of my friends used to say. Well, Jeff, one of the main ones, he used to say shit about me because I have like certain stipulations, or I'll be like, no, I can't do that, or I get turned off easy, or I used to say shit like, I don't even want certain females to be associated with my shit. Like I don't want to have this. I don't want
have standards, Spooty.
Yeah, I don't want you to be. I don't want you to be.
You in a whole other bag, baby.
I don't want you to be associated with my piece. Like you be able to. Even though people may have slipped up, you might have them slip ups, but I for sure be like, I don't want this female to be associated with my piece. I'm straight.
Man, hey, congratulations, bro. Because I honestly didn't give a fuck who was associated with this bitch. As long as you was talking, as long as you was talking good about this motherfucker, I don't care if you was associated with it or not. But that's what's up, bro. That's some good shit right there, baby.
You never look back. You never look back and be like,
no. Hey, if I could win it back,
my nigga say he got a dog ass record.
If I could have not lost my virginity to the chick that I lost my virginity to, like I'd be happy. Like I'll be thinking about that shit. I'll be getting grossed out.
Brenda Davis.
I'm not speaking on who this person was. But she like it wasn't the one that I like. Nah, like when I think as a grown man, like I'll be like, nah. I wish I could have got something else off. Like I wish I wasn't just like horny as fuck, just had like hormones, you know what I'm saying, raging and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like take a little bit more thought into what you
I got a question for Kenya when y'all done.
And this is one thing I don't understand is if a female
filth.
A female says no or like says something to like say she's not complying or doesn't want to do any sexual activity. It's a no. Like I've came across a situation where a female was like, I don't think about doing that. So I was like, all right, well, she's like, do you think I should leave? I'm like, well, if you want to stay, you can. I don't care. I mean, you can.
You a better man than me because I kick them out.
Get the fuck out of here.
See you later, because this was all you was here for. So you could go ahead. I don't even want a story to where you even think something happened. Go home.
No, but after that. She was ready to do something now. Like she was trying to get me to go crazy.
You want to cuddle.
Psychology.
You want to cuddle. Yeah. Nah, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. I'm gonna ask you, Spooty, before you go in, because this was a tactic. Is this toxic behavior? Because I think it is. I would not talk about sex with a chick in order to have sex with a chick.
Nah. Manipulation.
Thank you, Kenya. Hey, it was. Hey, I want to fuck, so I'm gonna do everything that these other niggas is not doing. I ain't gonna bring up sex at all. But as soon as you bring it up, I'm like, I mean, if you want to, if you're sure about this, then we can go ahead.
But look, though,
that's a tactic. It's a manipulation.
No, that was a tactic on my part for sure. I'm not gonna mention anything. And then after you mention, I'm like, if you're okay with it, if you sure with it, we can go ahead.
I ain't gonna say I use that as a tactic.
Okay, well, I got a condom here. Let me go and grab it. You sure?
Hey, look.
Hey, nigga, man, you sure?
You something else. You a piece of work for that one. But look,
you got the ball, buddy. Go crazy.
Even when I said you can stay, I literally was straight with her, just staying us not doing shit. Because like I'm like, look, if you want to stay, I mean, you let me rub on your ass, so that's fine with me. We could just stay doing that. I'd rather watch TV with rubbing you whatever, and you know that's fine with me, whatever. But after eventually she wanted to she after that
she say it to you rubbing her ass.
Yeah, she put my hand there.
What'd she say to you?
She put my hand there.
But did she say?
Man.
Nah,
leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Okay. Leave me the fuck alone. If you put my hand there, bro. Come on, man. Okay. Let me keep going. But after she wasn't trying to do anything, when she tried to do something, I was so out the mood, I didn't want to do nothing. Like I was literally straight with
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I don't
see how somebody can just be like a woman can just be pleading you to be like, no, and you just still trying to. How you even? That's some sick stuff, dog. Like
so
what?
Question real quick. Do you feel like if more men talked about how they feel like they harassed or raped, do you feel like that will help women speak out more? Or to feel if
men talk about it?
Because I know a lot, and I hear a lot of men that just push it to the side.
I mean, again, it's about the approach and the attention. I think a lot of men who have your stories, essentially, y'all kind of similar to Slap, y'all appreciate that, or y'all take that on, so it doesn't seem as like an equivalent to what women are expressing in that sense, because a lot of men it don't matter to y'all, essentially. Like, I hear a lot of stories of young men losing their virginities to older women. You know, essentially, that's not okay. You know, that's considered rape, right? Because of the age difference.
Hey, I know
But
for a
you
fact I done
consent.
been sexually harassed, bro, by some older chicks, bro.
And
For
so I
sure.
think that the conversation is just different when it comes to men. Now, I don't think that it's a bad conversation to have together, but again, it just shows the underlying, the sexuality, you know what I'm saying, within our community and in our culture, and things that we really should address. Because I think that does play a part to why y'all think certain things are okay, because it's like, hey, it happened to me, get over it. You know what I'm saying? You'll be all right, you know, because y'all deal with it differently. And it's something that is worth a conversation, but it's so much to it. And again, we have to be willing to have that dialogue and to be able to allow that to see through the trauma. Yeah. And for some people, it's harder than others. And some women are going to we have to seek that counseling. You know, you got to do. So for some people, you're going to need extra help to get through it, because some people's experiences are probably more traumatic. But I do think that it's worth the conversation for us to address sexuality in our community and how we condone a lot of things and normalize a lot of things that perpetuate this rape culture.
Let's get to this topic. Because rape culture is like 90s, early 2000s. I mean, we've all added to a piece of rape culture. If you want to disagree, go ahead. But I know if I've added to it without knowing the things I know now. Yeah. All right, I can admit that I have said things to women that might have made them uncomfortable, or did things to women that might have made them uncomfortable, and I'll admit that wholeheartedly. I'm a different person. I'll never tell, like, come on, it's certain shit like I don't fuck with or do that was in the past that I thought was okay. After hearing women's stories and things like that. What we already talked about what we can do to create a
platform in a space,
to create a safe space for women to, you know, come forward in. But there are times where men at a young age are approached by older women, and it's it's okay. If I'm 16 and I fuck a 23-year-old, I'm the king of the hood at that point. You know, so what can we do to break those barriers? Kenya, as a woman, what you think we could do to break those barriers? Because that shit is like if a nigga is 16, he be like, hey, bro, I just got some ass from like a 25-year-old. Niggas gonna be like, hell yeah, nigga, you that nigga. And it's like, I would never want my son getting his dick sucked by like this 25-year-old. Now, if you come home and tell me you was at the movies and you got head from your girlfriend who a teenager, we're gonna discuss that, but it's gonna be a different discussion than you coming home and telling me that a grown woman sucks your dick. So how can we create spaces for? It's not a safe space for men on sexual abuse from a man point of view or a woman point of view. It's not. I mean, look at Raz B. We dragged that nigga. It's nothing for them to come forward, because it's gonna be like, okay, you got your dick sucked by a 25-year-old nigga, leave me alone.
And again,
give me her number, beat it. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of shit. So like, what you think we could do?
It's nothing that I would say that a woman can do to fix that culture. But then we have to understand too that there was a point in time where women, right, were always subjected to older men. These are cultural things historically
all the time
that have happened. And the same thing with men, usually because of that culture, seeking younger women. That's been a thing, right? And so when you're thinking about like These are generational norms. Things that are great, and I mean, essentially we're progressing, right? I mean, if that's the goal for us to kind of start shifting this culture, like think about it. You don't have young women now when you turn 13 or you start having your period, you getting off to this man. But again, to the point earlier, we were talking about this systemic stuff. This is a part of that. This is a part of white supremacy, patriarchy. These are principles under it because Black women have always been subjugated to sexual abuse in some form and fashion, all the way from old times. And so essentially, Black men, in the sense of when you think historically, this white man's mentality, you now carry that. And how you hold this sense over women, or how you identify sexuality in your community, right? Because you're essentially privileged in the sexual realm. Y'all have the privilege. And women we're in this space because more women are coming out. That came out a lot with the Me Too movement and all that stuff. More women are speaking out now about this. And it's on us to kind of create the space to start to be comfortable with having these conversations. But again, all of these things are layered into these systemic structures.
I don't even think it's up to y'all in general, just because we I don't think men create the space for women to come to, just because I mean, even with these Twitter pages, I seen a lot of advocacy for the people who were accused as opposed to the people who were victimized. And I was just trying to ask myself, why do these niggas feel like they so important to where a chick would make 5 allegations about you? Now one I can see one chick being upset and possibly making those. And honestly, on that page, we have seen them post. They have posted retractions to people who have had allegations. I seen it. No, I seen a couple, like, we got a retraction for this person.
I also didn't go all in depth. It was like the first couple days I kind of went in, but I can't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been following it pretty close. So they posted retractions like, hey, you know what? Let us apologize to this person, because we've had multiple women speak out and say, that these women are lying, and they know for a fact they're lying, and things like that. Like, they know for a fact, they got proof, screenshots. Like, I'm about to tell on this nigga such and such. Like, they got screenshots of that shit. Really? So, no, dead ass. I mean, it was a white dude, but nonetheless, still.
And that's something important too to note, because MSU is a campus that deals with this heavily, not just in our community, but campus-wide. When I was at Michigan State, I was on ASMSU. This had to have been like 2011, 12, 13, around that time. This was heavy in MSU as a Big Ten. University. We were one of the high, like, the schools at the top of dealing with sexual, and how do we deal with this rape culture on campus? So when you look at it at the bigger scheme, of course you're going to have your pockets in our community. So understanding this is like not only a Black issue in universities and college campuses across the nation, this is an issue. Yeah. And so we have to be able to understand that in light of everything we deal with. Again, it goes back to us loving each other more, respecting each other more, because when you respect someone, you're less likely to make them feel uncomfortable. You're less likely to put them in positions that they don't want to be in. And that's what we got to get back to. And I think instead of people just getting defensive, we need to hear people out and take accountability in some space. So let me
go ahead. Hey, shouts to real quick. Shouts to my nigga Rod, dark skin committee. He's here. He's in high school, so I would love to hear his viewpoint on this, because high school and college is kind of like our years where we deal with sexual abuse and sexual harassment on almost an everyday basis. And I pride him as knowing that he doesn't indulge in that shit and that he will fuck a nigga up for otherwise. So I'm glad that he, whenever he turned his fucking video on, decided to join us. Go ahead, Mo.
I've been saying, I want everybody to answer. I'm gonna start with Spooty, because he hasn't said much. I mean, I ain't saying it like that, but
and look at him, he got his Joe Budden shit on. He like, what?
No, I'm saying you haven't spoken in a while. I'm gonna say that.
Okay. There you go.
So I'm gonna ask y'all too, but I've been seeing a lot of posts and a lot of people on the Twitter saying, you know, if you could get your letter snatched or suspended for hazing and stuff like that, do you think that these people, if we find out that these things are guilty, should their letters get taken away or should they get suspended? How do y'all feel about that?
Yeah, go ahead, Sweet.
I feel like, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't, if it's something that's in the law, but it's been cases where these things, somebody is found guilty of innocent things they didn't do, so it's always a catch-22. But I would say, yeah, these things this is tough. I think what should happen is it should be some type of, like, with these pages or whatever. I know I'm kind of veering away, but it need to be some type of counseling done,
Some
something
classes.
of that sort. Yeah, it need to be, you know, like, if you full out, you know, raping, doing some raping activity, for sure you need to go to take your ass to
full
jail.
out raping.
Full
What
out.
if you kind of raping?
You know what I mean.
What if it's like slight raping?
No, rape in general. If you raping, if you're doing some rape activity, then yeah, you need to be sentenced. But I feel like maybe a touch here is still wrong. I think the action should be different, because I think everybody kind of know what the lines of rape is, and it's more of a thing than just like a assault can be something as simple as tapping a girl on the booty or something like that. You know what I mean? So I think we just need like education or counseling or something on how to take upon those interactions with females, or females to take upon those interactions with males.
So you saying we need guidelines to touch a woman when she didn't ask for it?
No, I'm saying.
I know. I just wanted to catch you up in that.
You trying to pod. You trying to pod, man.
I'm pod.
You trying to pod, man.
Hey, I'm pod. I'm pod.
You trying to pod.
Let me ask this, bro. Not even for you, because Rodney is in the space where tapping ass is a general thing. Go through the hallway. You might smack a little butt. Rodney, you might smack a little butt.
I'm sick of you smiling like that.
So just in general, okay. I know you're gonna smack some ass. It's cool. We all have. What safe space or comfortability space do you think needs to be created for women where they don't feel uncomfortable with you touching them without asking? And have you, which I've never seen, all right? I've never even seen him, you know what I'm saying, touch anybody outside who he was in a significant relationship with. What type of space do you all create at Chippewa Valley High School for chicks to come forward? And do you agree with like niggas just walking through the hallway like, look at that motherfucker there? You know what I'm saying? What do y'all do there?
I mean, from my experience, I say like most of the like couples, they do a lot of stuff like that. And I see like if you know that person and like they come with you doing that and they do it and nothing happens, then that's cool. But if you just straight up walking up to somebody, smacking them on the butt, and they are comfortable, now you don't know what to do, because like they don't know like if that was like a joke, if that was, you know, purposefully, they might go to the office, they might get you in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's best like do that with someone like that you comfortable with and that you know, or like don't do it at all because you never know how people are feeling when you do that.
And I think I done seen y'all niggas at enough fucking football games through the year where I know that y'all niggas don't do no like out of line shit.
We keep our, you know what I'm saying? We keep
in general. Yeah. Like y'all niggas joking shit, but y'all don't do nothing out of line. If anything, and this no bias. If anything, I done seen these niggas like take up for chicks and shit like that. Like in general, like with shit going down, like in any event.
Like if a girl is feeling uncomfortable and the nigga keeps doing what he's doing, then we obviously got to do something about that.
Yeah,
because now he's a threat to her, and now we got to stop it.
So that's what I want to talk about. Y'all have no issue, and I haven't seen you, Ryan, or anybody have no issue at no football games or basketball games with addressing a nigga who out of line, whether that's on like some female shit or just some like, bro, chill, nigga, we got a fucking game. Chill before we get this bitch shut down shit. I done seen y'all niggas address all aspects of that. So what do you think for us as adults we should do to hold the next adult accountable for doing some bullshit? Because y'all niggas had no problem with being like, bro, you on some bullshit, nigga, like, chill. Or just start cooking that nigga to where he be like, all right, I'm on some bullshit. What do y'all think we should do? Because I can't cook the next nigga with jokes to get him to chill. I got to do more.
You got to beat his ass. Check.
Got to beat his ass.
You got to do something like I should be doing. I mean, cause like take a nigga like I'm like 21 plus years old, I'm not in high school no more. I'm a grown man. You know what I'm saying that's kitty stuff. I gotta give him his space. I have to let him know. If I like input the thing in his brain, I shouldn't be doing this, bro. It's wrong. You know what I'm saying I'm coming up on her hard, and I shouldn't be doing this because it's morally wrong. And I don't want to be labeled as a guy that like touch on females and like mess with females and they uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? You will be
That's
labeled.
right, man.
Do y'all got anybody at your high school that's like super out of line with this type of shit? You ain't got to say no names, but it's just a yes or a no.
To be honest, I don't really pay attention to that. I just go to class, do what I got to do, and go to the next class.
Stay out the way. Okay, yeah.
So you know what's crazy?
I heard a lot about you at parent teacher conference, so I agree.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Hey, no, I'm like, this nigga ain't even my kid. Why y'all keep telling me about this nigga Rodney?
Hey, you know what's crazy though? Hey, Spot. You
What
know
up?
what's crazy though? So I kind of had the same answer again in one of these conversations I just had, and I had a female tell me that was the problem.
As far as
Because you know, at State, I kind of stayed in my lane. I wasn't at none of the house parties and stuff like that. You know what I'm
you
saying?
was chill, you was chilling.
I was chilling. And I was like, you know, I stayed in my lane. You know, I really ain't pay attention to nothing. You know, if I did, I kind of, you know, if we address, you know me, I would tell, I didn't have no issues with telling somebody they on some bullshit or something like that.
Never. And I'm here to say that. Never.
But I was told that that's the issue, that us staying in our lane is not helping the problem.
Yeah, but Miles, the thing about it is that when you were there, you addressed it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
but if you stay in your lane, you out the way, you can't address it. But when you was there, you had no issue. Nigga, you tripping. Chill the fuck out, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Before we beat your ass in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Just you had no problem with addressing the issue at hand.
So this gonna be my last point because I'm about to get ready to head out of here. This has been a very fruitful conversation, though.
Yeah,
and
we
I'm
need to
glad
wrap
the
this shit
dialogue
up.
is
She's saying
starting.
you need to wrap this shit
No,
up.
y'all already knew I had to do. But I think to your point, Miles, about the idea that usually the ones who are open to being accountable, you aren't dealing with or in those spaces that perpetuate these type of situations, right? Because again, when we think about when are women most vulnerable and when do these kind of situations happen? It's in them functions, it's in them parties, it's in them grooves, it's in the, them situations where you either gonna be messing with it or you not. And I think that again, we have to start rethinking what's cool, what we should be putting our energy into, and even to Krack point, like, it's as simple as it's the morals and values, the respect, your faith. And a lot of times, and not to be all preachy, because I ain't that either, you know what I'm saying? We all deal whatever. But it's like, sometimes when you get to that point of reflection and you look back, was all of that shit worth it? A lot of times we shouldn't even be in some of these situations. We shouldn't have been there in the first place. And if we understand the root to a lot of the things, like how do you get in situations where you put yourself vulnerable to be, in those moments where you probably shouldn't be doing something. You're probably doing something you shouldn't be doing in the first place. And we got to start checking ourselves for that. And again, it's not a point the finger, but it's some inner work that we all really have to start doing. And this is going to not only impact this rape culture, but it's going to, when we start doing that inner work, it's going to start impacting how we operate in these systems and in America and all of that other stuff.
What?
Like, it's all a part of the same thing.
You know what, King? To that point, I have a daughter now, so I'm fucking talk. All right, now I'm going to make sure that I teach her, because a lot of these accusations started with I was drunk and I was in and out. Don't you dare, all right, young lady. If you want to fucking get drunk, you're gonna get drunk. Your dad's been drunk. Your mom's been drunk. We'd have been drunk on our fucking minds and going in and out. Okay, if you are doing that, don't you dare be around with you and your friend, be around just a group of niggas. Now, while those niggas should not do anything to take advantage of you, I want you to be aware of the world that you live in, that everybody is not a genuine nigga. It's a lot of pieces of shit out there. And I need you to understand that if you do get drunk out your fucking mind, and you're going in and out, that you might be around some pieces of shit. So I need you to understand that you don't need to be in that space to where something can happen to you. Almost, if I knew for a fact that it was like a club where like two gang groups always fought and shot at each other. But I was like, man, the DJ dope as fuck there. I'm gonna go there. And I went there and I got shot. And then Miles and Krack and Smoothie come visit me, and they're like, why the fuck did you go there? That's gonna be what they ask. Why did you go there? Niggas be shooting there. It's like, yeah, why did I go there? So I'm gonna make sure I instill in her, while a man shouldn't take advantage of you drunk, there are men that will do so. So to avoid the such, I need you to not get super fucking drunk.
That's
with
not
you
realistic,
and your friend around a bunch of fucking people. Yeah. But while it's not, it is realistic, bro. Like, it's
not realistic, bro.
Why it's not to not get super drunk?
People gonna do what they gonna do.
Hold on, bro. I'm talking like a chick and her friend, not a party. A chick and her friend, like, we going to this house with like 10 niggas. Don't do that. I need you to know to not do that. I don't give a fuck if you know a nigga. Don't do that.
Y'all might just have to start chaperoning the party.
You and another female don't go to where you outnumbered by niggas. I need you there with a nice amount of people in general, women included.
But a lot of
don't go there with just you and a friend.
That number shit don't really be mattering. Like, all right, peace, Kenya. Hey,
hi, don't, bro. Hey, check me out. Ron, CJ party, right? CJ party. I picked Ron up from CJ party. He said it was 2 chicks there. I said I'd have never dropped my fucking daughter off with her and her friend and all y'all niggas. And I know he ain't gonna do nothing. I know him and Rodney ain't gonna do nothing, or CJ. But I'd never drop my daughter off with you and just her and 12 niggas.
I'm saying this is a specific situation. I'm saying just like in general, you can't just say like numbers is going to.
No, I'm just saying, don't do that shit. I hope I instilled that enough in her to not do it. My mom instilled a lot of shit in me. I still went to the parties with gang violence. We know that. But at least in the back of my head, I knew that she told me not to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? So I hope I instill it in her enough to not do that. And I told Ryan that when I picked him up. Now I know Ryan and Rod and them niggas ain't do shit. Or CJ. Them all, I know they didn't. But just in general, as a father, I'd be like, yo, you not getting left here with all these niggas. I can't do that personally. Just because I can't put shit past these niggas. I don't know them.
But see, parents just be dropping niggas off and all that.
Facts.
They just be dropping niggas off. Like, every time we go to a party, you talk to somebody or you
bro, I don't drop this nigga off without talking to nobody. I need to talk to Eric. Even his party. Parents, you gotta come in and talk to us. You can't drop your kid off without talking to us, nigga. And this is his party, but you gotta talk to me first. So that if something does happen to your daughter, you wild boys, if something does happen to your daughter, I need to let you know that I did everything in my comfort to make sure nothing did happen to her. You feel me? I can't drop my daughter off with 10 niggas, bro. Her and her friend with 10 niggas. That's crazy to me.
Mm-mm. That's never happening in life.
Man, whatever, bro.
For the drop off.
That's
the drop off.
These parties have no parental supervision. They just be letting people do whatever they want. Like I can go to a party, my mom asking me, like, oh, who's the adult there who's like the guard overseeing all this? And like, I don't have it because like in the house, they doing whatever they want. But it's just like people just be letting people do whatever they want, and that's why I think part of the
you fading a little, bro. You fading a little.
That's why cases like that do happen, like with girls, you know, like getting touched on and stuff, and like all these like problems happening because there's no parental supervision. That's why there's no one to like look at this, say, hey, bro, like cut that shit out. Like you're gonna have to get the fuck on. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
but another thing is though, like girls can easily say you touched them just because there's no parental supervision. You don't even got to.
Huh?
You don't even got to touch her. I said females can easily say that you touched them and you didn't just because of no parental supervision.
I think just like a lot of things just come down to personal accountability, like on both sides. Like I think like I said, we discussed it. It has to be just like a little bit more thought and care put into the process, and I think that opens up things to be easier, at least to even have like the conversation, like be a little bit more open with like the true intent and emotions behind a lot of this shit, then we be in a better situation to actually discuss and explain. But with these two motherfuckers, we got the two leaders of the show out of this bitch. I think we about to be wrapping up soon because I didn't expect to be on this bitch until 11. I mean,
hey, I want to give a shout out to my son though, man. I thought he was asleep this whole time. He's been watching 13 Reasons Why this whole time by himself, chilling.
Go crazy.
Go crazy.
Young goat.
No, you dealing with one of the goats. But yeah, hey, man, Miles, you got anything, you know what I'm saying? How you want to wrap this show up, bro?
No, man, we marching June 19th. We'll have more details soon. You feel me? We going in there. We put Airborne.
Oh yeah. That's around my hood. Let's go.
You know, I had a lot of issues growing up in that area.
Yes, sir. We all had that shit.
You feel me?
A lot of the Arabs used to steal my bike. You feel me? So I'm pulling up.
Can we talk about the cultures that came over here that took all the white people's teachings and used it against us as well? More institutionalized and systemic racism. It's like the people, like, you know how I won't just say like all Asians don't like black people, but many of the Asians that I've come across are scared and hate black people. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's a few personally.
Yeah.
They actually talk about, you know, again, like what Ken was saying earlier, a lot of this stuff was taught.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if you Asian American and you come here and you see all these things that's on the news about us, and you know the white folks telling them, like, you know, again, we learned fucked up history in school. So if they, you know, it's all about what they learn and how they grew up. You feel me? Even, I hate to use the movie, but even if you look at the Karate Kid with Jaden Smith, they treated him like shit just because he was black. You feel me? And it's just like a lot of cultures are looked down upon us. I've been seeing the Kardashians getting killed, you know, because people feel like they're not supporting the cause as much as they should and things like that. I disagree to a certain extent, but these families and these races are like, we're at the bottom. Mexicans, you feel me? I feel like people sleep on the Mexican culture as being at the bottom with us as well. But I feel like, again, we in the era of media, bro. So I feel like, and again, us being in the house, I think that's what slept on too. We ain't been able to do shit. So it's like, you don't have no choice but to see this shit right now, for real.
Yeah, that's facts.
But I've been seeing a lot of Asians stand up and like telling the parents, you know, this ain't what it is. This, what you was taught is wrong. I've been saying that a lot.
And that's important, man. That's very important. And, you know, I put something on my Facebook, man. Shout out to just like growing up, and as you acquire more information, changing your mind. Like I think we do a very good job of taking information and analyzing it and understanding people. And like I said, I commend especially our generation for doing that. Like we got a lot of people who do believe in a lot of the building blocks like our predecessors left for us. I think we have tried to do a good job in continuing to build. Hopefully, you know, just everything, like these conversations that we have, like a lot of these things continue to grow, and we grow with the conversations.
Let me all right, so we got a few comments. Needless to say, has been commenting a lot. You know, he was saying that don't even sound good. 2 girls, 10 niggas. Definitely not. Bianca said, as females, if we can't control ourselves, surround yourself with friends who know not to leave you in those situations.
That's a fact.
It's realistic, but definitely harder. The female would really have to know not to do that. I'm 28 and I've never been in those situations, only because I know better on my own and not from my parents. So your parents have failed you, but you somehow have went through the masses. All right.
I would like to.
You somehow have came. No, your parents failed you.
I've
all right?
never.
But you have somehow made your way through society. Congrats. All right. Congrats to you. Don't you come in the comments with no bullshit.
I want to go back to what Krack was saying too, because I feel like it was brought up earlier, but the realization of like friendships now too. Like Slaps was saying, like the white girl that was speaking, she don't want to see her friends go through that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then even with like movies like Remember the Titans, you seen everything that they went through and build certain bonds and then bring them together. That was, you know, those are early beginnings of this shit. But like I said, I feel like we in a better position now where we're actually sharing these schools, sharing these jobs with each other now, building different relationships. So I feel like these people don't want to see, they really don't want to see us go through this shit.
Facts. That's facts. We ain't got time for none of that shit, man.
We not segregated.
We ain't got time for none of that shit. Just in general, bro. I think everybody here on the podcast, guests and all, we want to see things change for black people. We are not saying that white people's lives are less than us. I don't think no human being life is less than me, my nigga. I don't think that. But I know when my society is being oppressed, and I want y'all to know when another society is being oppressed, because honestly, if white people were being brutally murdered in the streets, I'd march with them. If it was a genocide, agenda on gays, like we killing every gay nigga here, I'd be out there marching with them niggas, bro. Dead ass. I ain't got no problem with it. I don't agree with you doing what you're doing. That ain't got shit to do with me. I ain't doing it. But I don't think no other human being is less than authority.
That's a fact.
And the thing that white people don't understand is that this can go from a black issue to an authoritative issue, to where police, military, anything feel like they are superior in authority to put you down. All right, that's that. As far as
people getting their ass whooped, they starting to see it.
Facts. As far as the sexual issue, I don't want women to feel like they can't come out to us. Come out to who you feel comfortable with. And honestly, if you hold it in, and 10 years later, if that nigga did that shit, that nigga did that shit. Because I know if a nigga touched Myla and she don't say shit for 5 years, I don't give a fuck how long ago it was. We gonna post that shit as if it just happened 5 minutes ago. So I understand the confusion, the anger, the not wanting to come out to men because a nigga is in a position of power or popularity. I get it. Because niggas is on their job daily, not wanting to say shit to their boss or their CEO in fear of their job. So I know that you may not want to say anything against this man or this male because you feel like niggas not gonna hear you out. I don't work at Verizon. I sent shit to Verizon concerning like Black History Month and shit like that when I first started working there. Was I a bit worried that I might get fired? Yeah. Did I care? Not so much, no, because I could go work at Sprint or T-Mobile. But let's look at niggas who like feel like this is their only job. They might not want to say shit to their CEO because their CEO might start targeting them to where they lose their job. So I understand.
That's really
I understand. Do what it is that you do. If you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. I'm not telling you to lose your job over some shit about race. But if you truly don't care or don't have anything in mind about this job, speak your mind to these people. Now is the time. Now is the time. Because right now, even if they do something to you or they do fire you, now is the time to where you can go to media and the media will pick this story up and milk it because it's drama to say that you got fired because of your views on race. They'll pick it up. You'll find another job. A nurse who lost their job about speaking out about COVID-19 got 19 offers, all with over 20,000 or more, I believe, of her current job as far as like a raise. So when it's times like this is where you can really go crazy and do what the fuck you want to do. Now is the time if you Black to speak out if you got any issue with your corporation or not, bro. Now is the time, I feel like.
I ain't saying shit to these motherfuckers.
No, I know why you not. But you not scared to. There's certain niggas who's scared to off account of their job. But like
that's big facts.
Niggas, yeah,
but let's empower Black businesses so we
ain't even got to deal with that.
Yeah, we got you.
Miles, you had something to say before I go to the next?
I forgot what I was about to say.
Okay. Miles brought up a topic. And while we in this space, it wasn't him. It wasn't him to ask this. It was other people who have been on social media. If you are Black, can you be pro-Black and anti-gay? All right. Now, I've seen reports. I've seen news reports, not I seen news reports of gay people and transgender people being beat up at protests. I know one gentleman was kissing another man and they started beating the shit out of him. I know one transgender in the community. I guess nobody knew they was transgender, which I had my views on. You probably should tell me. But if you're transgender and you wasn't telling the community, they beat this nigga to damn near a pulp. Can you be anti-gay and pro-black? Me personally, I believe if you pro-black, it don't matter what the fuck that black person is, as long as they not going against the pro-black agenda. No, I don't think you can be both. That's me. I don't give a fuck what you are. I don't care. If you kiss another nigga, what the fuck did that got to do with me? Honestly,
I think that was my big point about it
in my household, and I know it was. That ain't got shit to do with me. If you got a dick and go and get a pussy, I don't have shit to do with that, bro. While I will say that I don't understand a lot of that shit as far as like what's cisgender, transgender, gay, blah 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 blah. I don't understand all that, or like, oh, if you a nigga and you keep your dick and you want to fuck niggas, are you gay? I don't understand a lot of that. But in general, as far as who you are as a human being, you're still a human being. And if you're a black human being, I understand that the cops, when they pull you over, they don't know if you gay or not. You black. I don't know if you gay. I don't know if you transgender. I don't know if you got a dick. I don't know if you got a pussy. This is drawn. If I feel like you're a threat to me. So no, I don't agree that you can be pro-black and anti-gay, but I would like to ask the rest of everybody. Let's start with the young niggas first. Ron, you say gay shit to your niggas all the time on Dark Skin Committee. You tell them that they sexy.
Hell, I don't.
So
you a goddamn
looking sexy today. You say looking sexy today. So let's
I do it too, Ron. It's all right, bro.
Let's talk to you first. Hey, if a nigga sexy, he's sexy.
Hey, I do it too, Ron. It's all right, bro.
If niggas sexy, they sexy. Look at Rod in his real profile picture. Look how he looking at us. Look at him. He's handsome. A handsome guy. Let's talk about it though. But no, all seriousness, I don't think you can be both. I don't. So let's hear it from everybody else.
You for sure can't be both. Back to what you were saying, like, my nigga, if they pro-black, then it don't really matter what they is. I'm in my own body. I'm not in yours. I can't control what you do, my nigga. I can't, like, tell you, oh, you can't be pro-black and gay at the same time. Like, nigga, that's not how that works. As long as you pro-black, I really don't got an issue. I don't have an issue regardless of what you are because you're not me. Like, I know for a damn fact I'm not gay. But for the other people that are, or like transgender or any of that, my nigga, like, go crazy. That's your life.
Oh, crazy.
I can't tell you how to live your life, my nigga.
Up to Big Neff, man. Oh, Big Neff didn't even
Big
talk.
fact from Big Neff.
This is Dark Skin Podcast. I see y'all niggas out here. The fuck?
Where's nigga Roddy at?
Ryan said his piece on the sexual abuse.
I'm interested on what Krack got to say.
No, I agree with Slap. Like, basically, word for word. I feel like if you are black, I feel like as a community we get bogged down into like that talk, but when it's time to like really mobilize, like we need everybody.
Yeah.
You know? And I said it, like, I made a status like on Facebook. I was on change.org. I was just trying to sign some petitions, man, like trying to do something, you know what I'm saying, online, chip in some money. And I was seeing like some stories about some transgender, and it was like a transgender woman who was basically like lynched, and like they closed the case. It was like really fucking disturbing to like read. And I don't know, bro. Like that shit, like really, like, fucked with me. Like somebody getting lit. Like this was like, I think like a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just like, no matter like what, I can say like I don't understand stuff, but what I've been kind of saying with like, especially like with white people, kind of like lending their voice to us, like you ain't necessarily got to understand like every single thing about people to understand like human rights. And I want to talk about this next show, but your digital rights, like these things are like all things that we all should have access to. Like there shouldn't be like, especially over something as petty as like gender and sexuality, like do what you do. Like that it's not, that has nothing to do with me. But for what I stand for peace and equality amongst people. If you are a person, like I don't feel like you should have less than me just because like you are a different orientation or a different gender. Like it just, that doesn't matter to me. Like I think especially it's important to understand that right now we can't get bogged down by like other things, extraneous shit, because that'll get us off our shit. You know what I'm saying? Like there is a lot of conversations that need to happen within the Black community about gay, trans, you know what I'm saying? These are things we don't understand, but I feel like, once again, I don't want to keep patting my generation on the back. I think we're willing to at least try to understand and accept. Like that's the thing. Like you don't have to even agree, whatever. You can come to a level of acceptance and at least see people for what because I just don't feel like sexuality and gender should like define your traits as a human being. And maybe it took me like a long time, and coming up, like just be like, oh, that's gay, this gay, you know what I'm saying? Like we all come up in that culture and shit like that. But once you get to a certain age, like, bro, I don't have to prove to y'all like I'm not gay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we're above like certain ways that we came up in. So I will say, like, I would ask for, you know what I'm saying, the gay and trans community to understand people like us who like may not understand, you know what I'm saying, or we'd be like, well, this doesn't necessarily make sense. But I feel like right now in 2020, that's not the time to do that shit. It's the time to like really burn this shit down, bro. That's it. Like burn down all this fucking establishment, this racist fucking oppressing ass establishment that was here since the United States birth, since they was given smallpox blankets and shit. You know what I'm saying? Slavery and all that shit. So no, I feel like you can't be pro-black and be anti-gay. You can't.
Yes, fair.
Message.
I feel the same way, man. Yeah, I mean, this is self-explanatory to me. I mean, I really don't have any further things to say. Y'all kind of hit everything on the head with that one. That's pretty much a straight on the head answer. Like, nah, I mean, can't be both. It don't even make sense.
I'm sick of you doing this, bro.
What?
He don't give us nothing to say. He be going crazy.
Oh yeah,
bro.
he'll go crazy, and then he take these long pauses too. He'll take a long pause and get his little. Then he'll hit you with a off. It don't be all first verse with Krack. It don't be all first verse. He be having like two or three verses on him, and he be like,
yeah,
he try to Eminem and renegade you. He be trying to Eminem renegade people. Man. It's all good.
I went after slap.
You be trying to Eminem renegade people, bro. It's all good, bro. I understand.
Exactly what the fuck it is.
You be trying to Eminem.
I love podding with y'all. Y'all inspire me to pod, bro. Like y'all inspire me to have opinions and shit.
Thank you.
This was a long, deep ass show. I knew it was gonna be like this.
Yeah, I wasn't. I knew it was too. I wasn't expecting it to be this long though.
I wasn't either.
I'm like, damn, we still going? That's crazy. I appreciate all the engagement we was having. No, for real, I'm like, damn. And then when Ken stayed on, I was like, wow,
yeah, we
really
going
unpacking
into
this thing.
nigga. Yeah.
You're really unpacking right now, man. In the bag. Oh man.
No, that's Slap. Slap wanted to stretch that shit. We had a fucking collaboration podcast. We had 2 other podcasts.
Yeah, this for sure should probably be 2 episodes.
But yeah, I mean, if it was something to do it for, it was this though. I mean, it's a lot of shit going on, bro. Like prayers to everybody, man. We still in COVID season. Look. What up, man?
Big Malik.
Malachi.
You know what's crazy though? My shout out to my dog Big Red. He said that their cases shot up this week.
Yeah, I seen that.
Work at the hospital, right, Spooty?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he said that the cases he said the numbers went back up high as hell.
Yeah, because I'm not saying like people forgetting, but people kind of forgetting. It's still out here, bro. Just be careful. What they saying is like, I guess we're not as susceptible right now, because of the warmer weather. But still, man, like, still come out with your mask on, wash your hands, do everything that you've been doing. I know shit is crazy out here. Just be safe. I just want everybody to be safe, man. Like, this has been very taxing. Emotionally, I feel like if you're black, you understand completely, because this shit is like 24/7. We already have to deal with it. It's like if you knew some shit was bad and then somebody just kept saying, hey, this shit real bad. Remember, it's real bad. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it's kind of coming off, like, especially in the media and shit. And I just want to tell everybody, because it is tough. It gets very, very tough. Talk to people, get counseling, you know what I'm saying? Try to take care of your mental well-being, because it's a lot. It is a lot. And lean on your people, you know, during this time. That's all I got.
Game's on Krack. I'm about to make a highlight reel. I want you to edit it for me, bro. Put it on there. Cause my nigga, I got this Sean Kemp dunk package.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Woo! The Lister Blister, nigga. The Lister Blister. No, hey,
going crazy.
Yo, shout out to Top 10s, bro. Like, I did want to shout that out too. Like, I wanted to make a point. That Top 10s. Hey, Bad Miles, Fat Mike. You know what I'm saying? I seen E on there. You know what I'm saying?
Niggas was upset at me about the drum and shit.
I understood why you did that shit, but I wouldn't put drumming in my top 10.
That's just me though.
But yeah, based on the numbers, it makes sense and shit. We ain't gonna bog them down with the basketball talk. But yeah, shout out to I love, because I was telling Miles, like, back in the day, that's all we used to do is just compare and, like, you know what I'm saying, make the list like top 5, top 10s and shit like that. So very, very, very dope show. Like, check it out.
Top 10 rapists. That's what we talking about.
Oh my goodness.
We about to end the show right now.
Stuff.
Nah.
Yeah, I don't know what you want. Hey, sign out, man.
Top 10 rapists. Huh?
Bro.
Which page?
Hey, it's Krack.
Which page?
At Games on Krack.
You tripping.
At your boy.
Not the which page.
New content coming soon. Hey, we black. We're beautiful. Love you guys. Be strong.
What do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
This guy was here.
Live from the upside of America.
I wish this guy was still here.
You wish?
That's a fact. He'll be going nuts right now.
I
wish who was still here.
Shout out to Keke Palmer. She went crazy.
Nigga, we home. Mommy at work. Daddy dead. Nigga, we home. I'm a girl like an AMG going to bed. We home. Uzi on me, all my friends are dead.
Get off.
Same corner where my brothers died.
Yeah, this bitch.
Told my
Ladies
mama.
and supporting aka your neighborhood supporter of y'all, man. The Forecast Podcast is the one for the books, man. Shout out to Big Neff and Rod and Politicken, all our viewers, man. We appreciate y'all.
Facts. Mr. Cool, I'm in the building. This was a very good episode. Very informative episode. We don't give a fuck about y'all niggas that don't want to. Let me turn this shit down, man. We ain't give a fuck about what the fuck y'all niggas want us to talk about on this bitch. Let me say that shit first and foremost. All right.
These niggas talk.
I don't give a fuck what y'all niggas want us to talk about on this motherfucker, bro. We gonna talk about sexual abuse. We gonna talk about oppression. We gonna talk about what the fuck we want to talk about. This ain't your podcast. It's our podcast. If you don't want to listen to this shit, don't listen to this shit.
Oh, no, listen to this.
No, I don't need a nigga who don't want to hear this shit to not hear it. We don't care. Don't listen. You think Joe Rogan give a fuck who listen to this shit? He's Joe Rogan. I don't give a fuck who hear it. If y'all niggas want to listen, listen. If you don't want to listen, don't listen. All you sexual predators ass niggas that felt, something in your little heart today, don't listen.
I'm getting a little Tupac hit 'em up vibes from this speech right now.
All right, if y'all feel something today that don't want to, he's talking about me. I got 6 allegations. You got 6 allegations. Deal with that. Deal with the 6+ allegations that you have. We're a podcast where only like 30 people are listening. We got about 75 listeners per pod. All right. I don't even know who these people are. So don't worry about us. Worry about the detectives that want to talk to you when this is all over.
I need the 6 allegations dropped.
Don't worry about me.
I'm sick. We went from
we need the 6
Eminem Renegade Krack to Ether Slaps. What is going on today?
Don't worry about me. All you women who didn't want to get on here, like Kenya got on here to talk about sexual abuse, you're a part of the problem. All the niggas like Gary Owen who not allies and don't want to talk about Black Lives Matter, you're a part of the problem. All you niggas who don't want to get on here and talk about the real shit that's going on, sexual abuse, racism, all this shit that's going on and don't want to talk about the problem, don't listen to our podcast. Don't come on here as guests. We don't give a fuck. All right, we gonna make it to where the fuck we gotta make it without you here, with you or not, my nigga. It don't matter. These hands are still for free. If y'all niggas got a problem, all you niggas with 3+ allegations, and some of y'all niggas is my friends. All you niggas with 3+ allegations got a problem, call me. Because I want to talk to you niggas with 3+ allegations that are still my friends. I still want to talk to y'all niggas to see if this shit is true or not. Because y'all still want to deny allegations. All right? So that's where we at with it. That's where we at with it. Come holler at me. Listen, if I get put on there, I already told y'all what I would do because niggas done text me. Like, I ain't gonna say who niggas done text me. Like, well, what would you do if you got put on the site? Well, I'm gonna tell her to come forth, show your face. We need to talk about it. All right, nigga. I got 2 kids and a family. I got a daughter, nigga. We need to talk about this. If I did something wrong, we need to talk about it. If I did something wrong, we need to address it. I know I done did some bullshit. I know I done say some wild shit to some females. I know I might have did some shit that made females feel uncomfortable. I accept that. If I get put on the page, unlike you, if I get put on the page,
Ether Slaps.
Come and talk to me if you have a problem with anything that I'm saying. Come talk to me. You have my phone number. It's 313-282-1182. 313-282-1182. If you want to talk man to man to deny your allegations or to say that you didn't do anything wrong, to come and talk to me. If you want to talk saying that I'm on some bullshit, fuck you, slaps, you don't know what's going on, come and talk to me, nigga. These hands is free. I'll put a mask on. Hey, we here. All right? We here. It's nothing going on. I just want to talk. I want to create a safe space for women and my daughter. Because a lot of you niggas are discrediting these women. So when your daughter comes forth saying a nigga in high school touched her inappropriately, I'm going to ask for proof the same way y'all did. I want proof. Or I don't believe your fucking daughter, nigga. I want proof. The same way y'all niggas doing that, I want proof, nigga. I want proof. I already said in the chat, I already said in all type of chat. If I commit a murder, if I commit a rape, or if I commit anything, don't blindly support me. Blindly, meaning, oh, that's just slaps. He couldn't have did nothing like that. I can. I'm a human being. I can do things like that. I need you to know for a fact with valid proof and denial that, no, I didn't do that, nigga.
This nigga Big Neff.
Believe me.
Big Neff going dumb with the jacket. Crispy, though.
Yeah, he going crazy with that homecoming jacket.
That boy crispy.
Yeah, with the gay glasses and the homecoming. Hey, my granny said that nigga look like RuPaul in them glasses.
Oh,
It's some sick shit.
That's some throwback.
I'm sick either. Slaps some sick
took
over.
Shit. But no, just let me know. Yeah, yes, we all can be on that page. And I'm here to say, me, Tyrell Slappy, can be on that page. I done did some bullshit. I know it. I done said some bullshit. I know it. But if I know for a fact that I did not do any of these things, that I will have no problem going to the court of public opinion saying I did not do these things, and to tell that young lady to come forward. Once again, I have a fucking daughter. I never want anything like this to happen to them. I would never want anything like this to happen to my son, because women are also sexual abusers. We can't deny that fact. Sexual abuse is huge. Me Too movement is huge. Black Lives motherfucking matters. All lives don't. We in the motherfucking buildings, Mr. Kuda Mama. We out this bitch. Everybody else sign out. This motherfucker.
It's the forecast, bitch, and we out.
That's a fact, man.
You hear me?
Signed out, nigga.
Motherfucker.
Krack, at Krack Diesel. You know what type of time I'm on.
Your
Fuck
favorite
Facebook.
Uncle
I'm
Spooty.
over at Twitter.
Neighborhood supporter, man. Let's get it.
Fuck Facebook. I'm over at Twitter.
Shout out to Rod. Shout out to Big Ron.
Shout outs to Rod and Big Neff.
Dark Skin Committee.
Yeah, we gonna have to do it. We gonna have to do it.
They gotta tap in.
AKA the nigga that was shoot your mom. AKA
Whoa!
Jeez!
We were trying to solve issues with them.
Jeez! 6 allegation Ron in the building.
AKA Black Panther, AKA Simply Orange, AKA Mr.
Hey.
Get at me.
Bro, y'all niggas think y'all Drake on this MSU page. 66666.
I need that 6
As soon as I'm back in the city, I throw a parade.
6 allegations dropped.
Man. What's going on out there?
Why do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs.
You have no jobs.
58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
We're pulling live from the other side of America. Mama let me sip the 40. I was just a shorty. Then I started spitting garlic, and they said record me. I feel like this shit was for me. This shit just my story. Yeah, jump out the porch. I got a porch, no take it back. I'm on the block with the killers and holding my own, of course. Yeah, I see my mom and dad separate, ain't talking divorce. Said daddy was living by the fire, and he died by the torch. I'm where the AKs is. We like the baby kids. Ain't have a daddy, I listen to suckers the same way that Ray did. I'm throwing AKs and I just was a grade A kid. Ain't on no guy, and we grew up with hitters and did everything they said. Point out the block, we spinning that. Running the spot, we getting that. Give us some work, we flipping that. I'm here for good, ain't here to pay. I need a lawyer, money for commissary, ain't nobody ain't sending that. I'm in my style, like when I get out, I'm making a movie, no ass. Woo, yeah. Back
Make me want to rap.
on chirping, it was next to tell. Block
Man, what?
I might have to get back in there.
I was begging just to catch yourself. What?
What? Facts. You hear me?
I might come back.
That's facts. If you come back, put me on a
We'll
feature.
do something.
Put me on.